Hey guys, it's Rosa and welcome to Tru Heel Heat.
Hello everyone, it's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at Tru Heel Heat. Yeah!
Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with Tru Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
What's going on, everybody? This is your former AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Once a champion, always a champion. Swerve Strickland. Whose house? Swerve's house. You're watching Tru Heel Heat podcast.
It is Elimination Chamber Saturday, the final stop on the road to WrestleMania before we get to the big shows this coming April. It is March 1st, 2025, and there's a lot to talk about in the world of wrestling. We're going to find out tonight if Cody says yes or no to The Rock's offer to take his soul, and we're going to find out who might The Rock align with as the new corporate champion. Will that be the winner of the Elimination Chamber? People are out, certain doctors are out spoiling the winner of the Elimination Chamber. Apparently, we don't know for sure, but we'll talk about that. And we also got to discuss everything going on in the world of AEW, coming off the heels of a great AEW Dynamite this week. But also, Ryan Nemeth is suing the company. And Layla Hirsch is gone from the company, and just the start of a lot of departures. Plus, we got some NJPW with CMLL, Fantastica Mania to discuss. I just watched that this morning. We also got STARDOM to discuss. I watched that earlier this week. A lot of wrestling to discuss on this Elimination Chamber Saturday. So let's hit the intro. Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. We are live on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for Tru Heel Heat. Wrong thumbnail there. Tru Heel Heat 318, the Chambers of Souls, discussing the latest wrestling news, including The Rock and who he might align with if it is not Cody Rhodes tonight. We're also going to recap this week in wrestling with WWE SmackDown last night. You also had Monday Night Raw on Netflix earlier this week with Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez winning the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. You also had NXT from Cincinnati with Ricky Saints in-ring debut for NXT and WWE, plus his new theme music. Yes, we will discuss that. AEW Dynamite and Collision. You also had ROH with some CML taste to it. NJPW and CMLL had their Fantastica Mania. STARDOM had the Path of Thunder. TNA had Impact this week. Plus, we got our final predictions for WWE Elimination Chamber 2025. And of course, the gang is all back here. We got the true draw himself. Josh, how are you doing?
Doing good. I won't be confusing as Dwayne has been, but doing good.
Dwayne got me so confused. I had the wrong thumbnail up. I forgot to put the 318 thumbnail on this side. I didn't realize it until I turned over to this tab and it was 317 and not 318. But don't worry, guys. We'll have it at the end of the show. And of course, we got joining us for his monthly visits, which you've been seeing him a lot in 2025. He's already probably broke his record from 2024 and 2023. The one and only the one and only resident Tru Heel alcoholic himself, Top Guy JJ. How are you doing?
Elimination Chamber weekend, flu game weekend that people are going absolutely ape shit for. Between the kick game and the wrestling game, people are going fucking bananas, willing to give up their souls for this.
All about the souls. It's all about giving up your soul, man. That's the new game. That's the new game. There's a new game in town, and it's all about giving up souls.
That's all you got to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. We'll have another one of our host here joining us shortly here. But yes, we appreciate y'all for joining us live. Appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back. The simplest way possible is by dropping the thumbs up on this video. You can also share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're new to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, sound off in the live chat. We love to interact with all of you guys, hear your thoughts on this week in wrestling and everything going on ahead of tonight's Elimination Chamber 2025 show. And of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, you want to show your support to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel and our flagship podcast, you can do so with a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It goes back to the contributors that you see on screen with us here, and we always appreciate that kind of support. We already got in the chat with us today a lot of our favorites in the chat are already. We got Eric Isaac, who says, hey THH fam, happy Elimination Chamber Day. It's another wild woolly week in wrestling with new champs, winning debuts, and soul searching and snatching. Indeed. We also got our good friend Davion Washington. Thank you for joining us. He says, good morning, Tru Heel Heat Army. Dwayne Taker is still out looking for souls, so look out and don't let the evil consume you. This message was free of charge by Davion Washington. Look at that. So nice of you to spread that message. We got Big Hero Chris, one of our members of the channel, one of our good friends as well, saying happy Soul Day. Indeed, it is. We got I Make Beats, who says happy Chamber weekend, my friends. Yada da mean. All gas, no brakes. Yada da mean. He also says Rocky is a menace. We got the Resident Evil AMC who says hello to us. Hello to you as well. We got I Make Beast who says we got a long one SB3 out here in the UK tonight. Down for the watch along. Let's fucking go. Yes, Romeo will be hosting the watch along later today, so you can watch along with all of us. We got Davion. We got Dion in the chat. Good to see Nikki Boy in the chat. We got Dion who says we've seen Top Guy JJ more than John Cena on his own retirement tour.
That is actual facts. That is actual facts. just to put it out there. This will be the third time we're seeing John Cena in 2025, and I've definitely been on Tru Heel Heat more than 3 times in 2025.
This is true. This is true. Either Tru Heel Heat or Rated Raw Review. You've been on much more. You've been on like double the amount of times that John Cena has been on.
And who said the workhorse retired?
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. No, when one workhorse retires, another one steps up. We got All in the Game who says Rock's ego, boy, oh boy. I mean, you've been a very much a I want to say detractor of Dwayne and his ego. What do you think about the ego heading into tonight's Elimination Chamber, Josh?
I don't expect anything less. Like, it's not surprising. All I just wanted people was to just accept that he has an ego. That's all I really wanted.
I think people are starting to accept it. I think they're starting to see it. But hey, it helped WrestleMania. That's all. I said it last week. I'll say it again. WrestleMania season finally feels like it got here when Dwayne got here. So I thank him for that. Boring ass Claude Paul was not doing it for me.
At the end of this, we're gonna end up thanking Dwayne. Whether you're confused, annoyed, or not, that motherfucker gave you a story.
He's just here to finish his story, guys. That's all it is. Let him finish his story. Let him finish his story, whatever it is, even though it seems like WWE doesn't even know what it is.
Just going forward, we don't need 27-minute promos to get the message across.
From this forward, stop taking shots of Terramana before you do your promos.
So you don't have to repeat the same shit 22 times.
Be my champion. Be my champion. Be my champion.
You're a great champion. Great champion. You're a great. Fuck. The fuck did I? Oh, you're a great champion.
Great champion. Vala B says Dwayne is a confusing dude, but at least they made for an interesting SmackDown compared to last week's dog shit episode. SmackDown was much better last night than it was the week prior, but I mean, you were literally coming from the depths of hell. Yeah, the bar was not very high. You were coming from the depths of hell. You just brought it to the ground. Like from a 2.4 on Cage Match, it's probably like a 6 for last night's show, which is an upgrade.
It was average.
Yeah,
but average.
It was an average.
Great episode of SmackDown.
And thank you, Vala B. He's been a member for 20 months, going on 2 years being a member of the channel. Vala B, he's one of the OGs in the chat. Another one of our OGs that has been a member for over almost 2 years now since we started having members here on the channel. Nicky Boy, Negro Buck, Nick Jackson. He says, how lost in the sauce do we think Rock will be? He's going to have at least half the bottle of Terramana tonight.
Half? That's very generous.
And he's going to have half the bottle of the Terramana Black. He's going to have the black bottle. He's going to have the black bottle.
The dark liquor. The dark liquor, that gets to you, guys. That gets to you. The dark liquor. Dark liquor hits you a little bit different. That's all I got to say. We got Dion who says, I knew The Rock had an ego, but I didn't realize how big it was until I heard that story of him not wanting to get beat up or look weak in his movies. Yeah, the whole thing with Vin Diesel, which Josh has brought up a couple of times here on the channel.
Oh, I mean, it's been more than that. It's been way more than that. And I'm like, if you think that was something, there's a lot more to that.
Oh Oh yeah, but I mean Vin Diesel is the same way, so it's like the pot calling the kettle black. But
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, it is. I mean, and that's what makes the situation funny.
They were a perfect match. They were a perfect fucking match.
The biggest difference is that the biggest difference is that Vin Diesel actually has control of Fast and Furious. Dwayne doesn't.
But he tried to. He tried. At least he tried.
And Vin is like, you ain't taking the only fucking thing I got. That's the only thing I got. And you trying to get ownership in that shit too? The fuck? You got a whole company, motherfucker.
Of course. He's gonna do his thing. That's what $7, guys, $7. And yes, also Dion bringing up he was trying to take over the Fast franchise and the DC movies. Yeah. The DC movies is when it really got bad for Rock, image-wise. He saved his image last year ahead of WrestleMania with coming back to wrestling, and now I don't know what he's doing to his image. But we got a first super chat donation. Thank you so much, Vala B, for the support. He says you need to take shots of Terramana, and here we go. God damn, that's some good shit. Take the swig. Who's got the Terramana? I think JJ, you don't have any Terramana on you?
It's upstairs, but I ain't drinking until tonight. Yeah. It's only 11 o'clock, and I'm over 40 now, so that shit ain't happening no more. Before
he was like, I'm gonna ruin my whole day if I take a shot right now.
Right. I just woke up like an hour and a half ago. I ain't trying to be tired by 2 p.m.
That is fair. That is fair.
2 years ago, you kick off the show with the bottle, but now, nah.
Yeah, you used to.
Gotta conserve that energy.
when he was under 40, he used to do that, guys. But we do start off. We do start off our show as per usual with the Tru Heel roll call, shouting out all of you who support us here on the channel, as well as social media, as well as our Tru Heels group page on Facebook. Our Tru Heel Trinity over on the Facebook group page. You got Lucky Bowden, you got number 2 Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting, and Stewie John Palmer, number 1 once again. Our Patreon backers, you got Vala B, you got Alan Weinstein, you got Negro Bucknick Jackson, you got Alex McCarthy, Professor Chris, Trey, Robert, Steve, Ladarius, John, aka Russell Scopes, Dan Snide, Kobe, Dolores, John Martin, DJ Eric, Marcus, James, Alan, and Santo. Thank you so much for supporting us over at patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content. It's the best place to support us when we are not live here. But before we get into what we miss, I thought we would do something a little bit different to kick off this week's show, because somebody here on the podcast here was trending on social media on the wrestling Twitterverse this week, because your boy dropped another list that had the timeline going on fire. If this is your first time joining us, I am a writer over at Sports Illustrated, The Takedown on SI. I did a couple of months ago, I think this was in like September, October, I did the 20 greatest WWE wrestlers of all time list, which got a lot of coverage all over social media. Good friends, some like bigger channels like Steve and Larson going in Raw, they broke down my list, butchered me to death, said that my name sounded like an AI name. I know the Black Announce Table podcast said that this list was made by five writers and 4.5 of them were white. I had to go on their channel and I was like, yeah, I'm SP3. Apparently I'm 5 people and 4.5 of them is white. But yes, this week though, I dropped on Friday the top 10 greatest WWE women's wrestlers of all time, which got a lot of attention, including from a one Rebecca Quinn, aka Becky Lynch. She even posted up my article that I wrote here. So we're going to go through it. We're going to get the reaction of Josh and Top Guy JJ and all of you. And you could give your thoughts. You can give your top 10 WWE women's wrestlers of all time and let us know what you think. As long as you are not trying to support a sex trafficker being on my list, We will have no issues. It's okay. It's a subjective list, so you can disagree with it or not. But as soon as you try to say, "Oh, Fabulous Moolah needs to be on my list," that's when I draw the line.
Ban him. If that happens, ban him.
I had to block one of your writers, Top Guy JJ. He's a Titans writer for Sports Illustrated because he decided to support Fabulous Moolah. He said he really, and then he tried to gaslight me and say, "You watch WWE, so you're supporting a sex trafficker." I was like, "What are you talking about? You cover the NFL. We don't know what these owners do." But I cover professional wrestling for a living, so yeah, I had to block him.
I'm a Tennessee Titans fan, not a fan of Hicksville.
Also true. Also true.
Just get that straight.
Also true. Yeah, you're not a fan of their writers. That's true. You're a fan of the team. But yes, we're gonna share it with y'all on the screen here. The top 10 greatest WWE women's wrestlers of all time. So sound off in the live chat if you want to make sure your comment is highlighted on screen. Of course, you could send a super chat donation. We always appreciate that kind of support. But yes, let's go through it here. We'll just go through the top 10. We won't read anything here, but I will give you the criteria. So the criteria were career accomplishments in the company. Specifically in the company. That was a very important distinction that I think a lot of people missed. If you just saw the list and you didn't read the article, you would just think, oh, he's just naming off great women's wrestlers or great booked wrestlers. But if you look at the criteria of it all, that's when you will understand the list and how it's been ranked.
Just reading articles.
I know. That's true. They'll just see the list. They won't click the link. It's based on the career accomplishments in the WWE, their match quality in the WWE, their promo work in the WWE, their character work, their impact, influence, and legacy. So here are the 10 greatest WWE women's wrestlers of all time. You got number 10, Alundra Blaze, aka Medusa. Coming in at number 9, we got Bianca Belair, the EST of WWE. Then you got at number 8, Asuka. Number 7 here, we got Chyna. Then we got at number 6 is Bayley. Number 5 is the CEO Sasha Banks, aka Mercedes Moné. Coming in at number 4, we got no, I think I skipped one. Yeah, 4, we got Lita. And then we got number 3 here, Trish Stratus. Number 2, Charlotte Flair. And number 1, yes, the aforementioned Rebecca Quinn, aka Becky Lynch. So, Top Guy JJ, I'm sure this is probably your first time watching it because you just said who clicks on articles. I did share it in our chat, so I'm sure you didn't click on it. So what is your reaction to my list for Sports Illustrated, the top 10 greatest WWE women's wrestlers of all time?
Based on the criteria of what you said, the only person that I would probably move is Chyna. I would move Chyna higher because of the impact and the legacy that she left. The only woman to win a men's championship, somebody that participated and actually was effective in a men's Royal Rumble. So there's so many things that she's done that has never even been touched again. And I'm not saying move her to top 3, but I would probably move her to definitely top 5. But Becky and Charlotte is going to get your most argument because of the reigns of championships that Charlotte Flair had, but that also has to come with the word impact. No one has made an impact like that woman right there with the run that she had. With the run that she had, she was literally the biggest star in the company, not the fucking women's division, not in the company. She was the hottest thing out, period. You can't even argue it. So
and I will tell you, that's the main thing. I see, Call Me Mr. Bonda in the chat saying I'm swapping 1 and 2. That's all. And I know Romeo was very adamant. He thought that Charlotte Flair should have been number 1. Charlotte Flair's never been number one in WWE. Like whether y'all want to admit it or not, she's never been the number one star. She's never been that good on the mic either. Like, that's what I said. That's why I emphasize what the criteria was. There is some weaknesses when you really look at the resume. And it took me some time. It took me like 2 weeks to put together this whole thing, and had to look at their careers and break it all down and break down every criteria. Charlotte Flair is not good in the character work department. She's not that great, doesn't have a good grade in the promo work department. Influence, impact, all the four horsewomen kind of have that, and the legacy have that. But the main difference why Becky Lynch is number one over Charlotte Flair is, like you said, Top Guy JJ, she's the only woman in WWE history who was number one star in the company in a pre-dominated male field of professional wrestling. That is enough to put you at number one.
No one has that claim, and no one, it seems, in the foreseeable timeline will ever get that claim again. And she had a top selling shirt with a bloody face. Like all of this stuff, she took that accident and turned it into the greatest thing in her career. To the greatest thing that happened in her career. And you kind of think the only ones that I'm looking at, and and they're trailblazers, right? They are trailblazers, Lita and Trish. But, it will make me have to think a little bit more of just taking them two and just flipping Sasha and Bayley like slightly ahead of them too, because of the sustainability and the longevity of these two's runs as well. And they've main evented pay-per-views together. So, that it just draws some thinking. But I don't have much issue with the list. The only thing that I would say I would completely just move, I would move Chyna a bit higher. I would probably move her in the number 5 spot, but everybody else seems to be pretty good to me in my book for now. Like, you dig and you kind of think a little bit more on it, but you're asking me off the cuff. I like the list. I would just move Chyna a little higher.
I do have to show here are the honorable mentions that I put on the list as well. We have the Bella twins, because I did see Dion in the chat saying that he says, I'm surprised you didn't put Nikki Bella, SP3, LOL. And I said this on In the Weeds on Fightful Overbooked earlier this week. I was like, Nikki Bella, I think, is a top 20 entrant if I expand this list to top 20. But if you put the Bella twins together and their impact together, she's like a fringe top 10. They're fringe top 10 together. Nikki on her own is a top 20, but the Bella twins together, because they're so unique as a force where you can't, I don't think you can really kind of separate one from the other. Yes, you can say Nikki had a better career than Brie, but when you put them together, they rise up the list because their impact and influence from being the stars of Total Divas and Total Bellas, they created a whole generation of wrestling fans that started watching wrestling because of them. Josh, what about you? What's your thoughts on this list?
Not much issue with the list. The only thing I would probably say, I probably would have put in Rhea probably number 10. Just because, Bianca's number 9 from what I saw, right? She's number 9 on the list.
Yeah.
She's number 9 on the list, and their accolades from what I saw or from what I know, I think it's almost similar from what I understand. Is it similar?
The key difference for me between Bianca and Rhea is Bianca Belair main evented WrestleMania. Rhea Ripley has not done that. Has not even, like, people can say, oh, her and Charlotte came close. No, it didn't. It was never going to main event WrestleMania 39.
Well, I mean, yeah, but
Rhea's real rise starts in 2022. It starts in 2022, so we're in the middle of Rhea Ripley making her top 10 status for wrestling.
I mean, me personally, I probably would have put her number 10. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, literally,
just because if we're talking about accolades overall, I'm saying like just because of the accolades alone, that's why I probably would have put her top 10. Because again, Alundra Blaze, right? I get why she's number 10, but at least me personally, the most memorable thing of her was, unfortunately for me, was her dumping the title in the trash can. Yeah. And I'm sorry. I'm just being honest about that. Like, there's no way you could tell me, like, if somebody was to ask me, hey, what was your favorite Alundra Blaze match in WWF? I'm probably dying because I have no idea.
Bull Nakano. Her matches with Bull Nakano and her work in Japan, like the big thing that made Alundra Blaze on my list over the likes of like Rhea Ripley and AJ Lee, the Bella Twins, Mickey James, Beth Phoenix, is that she was so good. She made Vince McMahon, who hates women's wrestling, bring back the women's title in the 90s after a 5-year hiatus. She brought it back, and she is like the representative of the probably the oldest generation I can go. I could have put like people like your Sensational Sherrys and your Wendy Richters on the list as well. And probably if I do the top 20, I can put them on the list in some way. But if you're going back to like the 90s, like this, Alundra Blaze is probably the best ever. That was the first women's wrestler that I saw on WWE television.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. You know, it's, you know, the list itself, I think it's fine. I really don't see any discrepancies on my end. Like, you know, I know Top Guy was talking about China being top 5. Number 7, I think it's fair just because, like, I understand her impact too. I understand like the stuff that she's done, but I mean, overall, I mean, you compared it to the top 5 that you showed. I mean, match quality over top stat alone, in my opinion. But the whole thing with Charlotte and Becky, I was for Becky being number 1. Charlotte, I mean, yeah, she has like the accolades, but then even if you really was to look deeper into her numbers, she's what, a 10-time world champion. But how long were a lot of those reigns, if you really look at it? She was cashing on the most. Money in the Bank cashing on the most. I mean, even if you look at the technical numbers in that aspect, I mean, I think Becky is I think the overall impact that she's had. And then also just her match quality alone. Like, when we're talking about WrestleMania main events, she main evented with Charlotte and she won the titles, both titles. WrestleMania 38, that incredible match with Bianca Belair, right? Some people said that was their match of the night. So she's done a lot. And I can I can see why she's number 1. There's really no real argument for me on that. And I mean, it's very big on SP3 putting his biases aside. I know we do have a guy that says, I mean, there is a guy that always loves to say that he's unbiased, but he's the complete opposite of that. Yeah. He's complete opposite of that. And at least with SP3, he sees more of like, I'm talking about the overall impact of things. I'm seeing this, I'm seeing that, right? Because again, if we're letting the fan perception kind of affect of our, what we're trying to do especially with SP3, he's in a situation where he's in Sports Illustrated, and he kind of has to be unbiased when it comes to stuff like this, again, he put his feelings aside. Because that 2018 year, that was rough. I mean, 2019, where all the fans were like, this big giant love affair for Becky. So, I mean, it's a good thing that he put his biases aside. And for me, I think it's fair. I think having her number 1 is fair. I know some people were saying, oh, it should have been Trish. Some people said it should have been Lita. I don't think they come that close. I think they're in a fair spot. I think Lita being number 4 is fair. I think Trish being number 3 is fair. because even though Trish keeps coming back, and she's doing all these things, which I think a lot of us do appreciate, and she's still really good in the ring.
Good, yeah. Yeah.
It's just she didn't have the impact that Becky did. And you could try to argue that till your face turns blue, but I mean, Becky was the top person in the company at one point. Not just women. She was a top person in the company where they kind of really needed it. And, like I said, I'm fine with the list.
Just look at the criteria here, because you can do like a little battle and you can be like, okay, this person 10-9. You can give 10-9 rounds like it's a boxing match. Career accomplishments, yeah, that will probably go to Charlotte because she's a 14-time women's champion. Then you go to match quality. I will give Charlotte the match quality. Here's when the tide is going to turn. Promos. Becky is much better in promo. That's a 10-8 round. That's a 10-8 round when it comes to promos with Becky and Charlotte. Character work, that's a 10-8 round for Becky Lynch over Charlotte Flair. Charlotte's been the same character for 10 years. Becky has given us the Irish stereotype, then the smoke punk, then she gave us the man, then she gave us big time Bex. Like, come on, like that. It's a 10-8 round right there. Impact.
She evolved.
Yeah.
Impact
and also
Impact is once again that's Becky Lynch, because she made the bigger impact because she became the #1 star in the entire company, regardless of gender, from the end of 2018 through almost the beginning of 2020. Yes, Roman getting leukemia played a factor in that, but it is what it is. Charlotte was around at that time. She wasn't #1. Becky was. Influence, Becky Lynch once again, like her influence on the fan base and her influence on women's wrestling, how she used her star power to elevate someone like Bianca Belair and made sure that she put over Bianca Belair because of the way Vince McMahon had her come back and beat her in 20 seconds at SummerSlam. She wanted to follow through on it, even though Ronda was back and that was probably a bigger money matchup for her. She was like, no, I want to wrestle Bianca Belair. You got Tegan Knox going on interviews saying that when Becky was NXT champion, she wanted to wrestle all the underutilized talent. So that's once again a 10-8 round for Becky. And then you look at legacy, because of all the things that I just mentioned, that's once again Becky Lynch. So when you break down the categories, Becky wins 4-2.
And she's not short of accomplishments. So like she's not short of the accomplishment. Charlotte has more, but she's not short of accomplishments.
Yeah, I mean, Charlotte has more, but then also I think when it comes to wrestling, you also have to look at the bigger numbers when it comes to that. Like you said, right? She was a 14-time champion, but then it's like how many of those reigns were actually either either good or either long. It's those kind of things for me at least, because you could be, like before, like Macho Man. He's a 4-time WCW champion, but then all those reigns were trash. So it's like you could brag about somebody's winning a bunch of titles, but if it's not good, like if they're not good runs and they're shorter than a month combined, is it really that good? Like, is it really that important? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you dive a little bit more, and just want to give like a final response to like the China one. So like I think there's that match quality. That's where she that's where she definitely see. JJ knows me definitely, and the promo work. That's where she bottomed out a little bit. And it's because also I think she was so far ahead of her time. They had no one that could compete with her. Like literally, they had no one that was capable of if she was a competitor in 2025, this would be so different, because there are so many women that is up to snuff, that's up to the quality of work that would have made her work that much harder. There wasn't a woman on the roster that could even be believable in a ring with her. So she was just too far ahead of her time. So, you dive a little bit more. You kind of, so you kind of see where the criteria does work its magic, but that's the magic of listening and reading. That helps. It helps. So Good list overall. Good list overall. I think if we was making this list in say 2027, Rhea Ripley would definitely be on this list.
Yeah, and that's what I told to Jimmy. Jimmy went in on me, said that this list was near perfect. He was like, it's very hard to go 9 deep. He was like, he got 9 deep, and it was perfect. Then he got to number 10, and he fumbled. That's what he said to me about my list.
I mean, I don't
because he said Rhea Ripley should have been number 10.
I mean, I don't think it's a fumble. I mean, that's kind of just.
It's
I
a
don't know.
subjective answer. It's a subjective answer. Yeah.
Say, like,
I respect Jimmy clouding me because I expected that from him. But we have one more person I wanted to hear the thoughts of on this list. Probably the most important person on our flagship here who can give our thoughts. The one and only princess of all the true heels, Miss Krssi Love. How are you doing?
Hey, boo.
Hi guys. Good morning. Hi, honey. How are you guys? Hey, friend. What's happening, everybody? I messaged these boys since yesterday, and none of them replied back to me, which is terrible, but whatever. What's the point of having a group chat if they don't even respond to it? I don't understand this.
I saw it.
Which one you seen? The one I seen this morning?
What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? You're going to be late? Cool.
You know what? I'm not even going to say nothing. I'm not even saying
I was late. Okay. I was trying to focus on me not being late, too.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Hello, everybody in the chat. What's my friend that came for me last week? I hope you are ready today. I'm here for you, friends. So we're all here today.
Yo, she didn't forget. She
never forget.
She clocked
it. The North remembers. The North remembers. Don't do that. So I'm ready for you niggas. Hi, everybody. Hello. What's happening?
Oh, okay. All right. So you must have had a morning.
No. Oh, so you weren't here last week. So
no, I definitely wasn't.
So last week, I forgot our dear friend's name. But he came for me last week telling me that I need to start writing down my matches of the week when I've been doing this for a long time. I'm here for a good time, not a long, whatever, how that shit goes. Anywho, whatever.
You've been on the show for 6 years.
Yeah. So we've done this whole thing with our matches of the week. And I have kids, I have brain fart, and I smoke and I drink and things happen. And I can't remember every damn thing. You think I'm remembering what's happening Tuesday, like to remember Saturday? Like I'm trying to get here on time. I'm here at 11:50 a.m. and we sit on this thing for 3.5 hours. So with that being said, he came for me and told me I need to start writing my shit down. So I told him to fuck off, and I will have that shit ready for his ass next week.
I love that. I love how niggas think that this is all we do every Saturday is just review this and then watch wrestling all week. Like nothing happens in between that for anybody here.
Nope.
I love that.
I have children. I have a job. Like I have a husband. I have a whole household to like, and watch wrestling on top of that. Thank you, sir. Anywho, how's everyone doing today? I run a business. Like I got shit. Like shit is happening.
She listed everything.
Because I mean, and it's all love. I still love you. No matter what it is. Like it's all love. This is all fun. Like this is what we do.
Deion Jenkins was the assailant here. He said that was me, and I didn't come for you. I was joking around. Don't try to frame it like I was being serious.
I love you, Deion, but I had to just tell you, it was kind of triggering, whatever. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, if you come for the queen, you best not miss.
You best not miss.
Right. So Deion, I love you, and I got you, and I got the stuff for you. This in 3.5 hours from now. So shit. You think I'm gonna remember what we talked about in an hour? No. I came from a parent meeting. You think I'm gonna remember all that? I had to write that shit down. Apparently, because I can't remember stuff. So
you know what I remember though? You know what I remember? My favorite thing from last week, last minute natty.
Oh, thank you.
That was great. That was great. Loved it.
And did last minute Natty show up on TV the following week? Look at that.
Oh, absolutely. Right on
last
time.
Minute Natty showed up. She was on. Was it at NXT? She was on somebody's show. She came.
No, she was just backstage putting ice on Kara's back.
Yeah, she was just helping out.
No, you was joking. I'm sorry. I took it a little far, Deion. It was me. It wasn't you. It's okay. I'm just saying I will be more prepared Next time. I still love you. It's still all love. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Like, don't. It's. We're still joking.
She found the great. Like, she was like MJ. She took that shit personal.
I still love you. It's all love. See, it's still
Right.
Dion in his crib show. Like, fuck me. Why is it fuck me? Like, he's like,
now when I meet you in person, I'm gonna give you the biggest hug, and I'm gonna apologize in person.
You know what? I'm happy for you, Krssi, because I feel like you've taken the mantle of people getting cursed out weekly. Every single week that me and SP was on here, somebody would get cursed out vehemently, like very strongly every week because they disagreed with something that was said. And now I'm glad. Good. Got somebody else that could give people shit too. Good.
I mean, you know, it's all love, Dion. I still love you. Don't even worry about it.
Shit is funny. Shit is fun.
But I have my stuff ready for you today. Okay, it might not be a lot, but it's on there, and I'm gonna keep track, like SP said, every week. I'll try. I can't break promises.
Krssi, we started the show talking about my 10 greatest WWE women's wrestlers of all time list, because a lot of people were online this week very upset or happy with this list. What did you think of it?
That's the list that you had us input for you, and then I was like, shit, I forgot like mad people, and then I was like, you know what, just fuck all this shit and whatever. Like, you pick what you want to pick, and we go from there. Because it really didn't matter what I said.
Well, let me go through the list for you. Number 10 was Alundra Blaze, aka Medusa.
Yeah, okay.
Number 9 was Bianca Belair.
Slay.
Number 8 was Asuka.
Work. Deserving.
China was number 7.
She should be higher, but okay, whatever.
I'm gonna have to go through the criteria with you.
Wait, China's before Bailey? I mean, Bailey's before China?
Okay. He'll explain.
I'll explain. Let me just go through the list, and then I'll scroll back up to the criteria so you can understand, and then it'll hit you like it did to JJ just now.
No problem.
Bailey at number 6. Then you have here number 5 was Sasha Banks.
Mercedes Moné. Okay.
Mercedes Moné, the CEO. Yeah. Number 4 was Lita.
Okay.
Then we got number 3, Trish Stratus.
Liv.
Number 2, Charlotte Flair. And number 1, someone that you know very well, Rebecca Quinn, aka Becky Lynch.
Now I seen that she did shout you guys out, and she was very thankful and humble. And I was like, look at SP getting a little shout out. She didn't say your name directly; she just said the actual people, like the brand. But I was like, well, that's my friend, and he did that. But whatever, we're not gonna we'll take whatever we can.
You know you're the second person to say that, because the first person who sent it to me was Joe Pearl, who in a chat with me and Jeremy for In the Weeds, and Jeremy's immediate response was, "Oh man, she didn't tag SP3. How cowardly!"
Right.
You see, the thing about what I love, what
right.
Becky Lynch is when she comes out, there's an expectation for her.
Right. That's
like there's a bar for her to hit. Let me know when you get that bar feeling when Charlotte Flair walks out.
I'm sorry. Are you asking me that, or are you telling me that?
So no, it's me putting it out in the universe.
Got it.
So like you're expecting something when you see Becky Lynch.
Right.
When you see Charlotte, I hope that this is good.
Oh. Well, she's not. Well, you say that Ash too, and she's accident prone now, so it's like anything could happen.
She had a year plus to have something different, and she comes out as the same fucking person over a year later.
Just skinnier.
The golden opportunity to have a character development involvement, and she is
the same
person.
They even had a report, JJ, that said she's gonna have this new character, the top girl, and it's the same thing.
And hasn't used that line once.
Nope. She's still calling herself the queen. So Krssi, to let you know, I did put criteria, because the last time when I did my 20 greatest WWE wrestlers of all time, I didn't put the criteria in the article. So I made sure I put it in this one. So this is all based on what they did in WWE. But it's career
That's right.
career accomplishments, match quality, promos, character work, impact, influence, and their legacy in the WWE. So the reason why China is at number 7 and not higher is match quality and promo work. She was not rated very well.
She didn't do that. She didn't do much of it at all, to be honest. She showed up and did the job and she left.
Yeah, and then I mentioned to that I think that she was so far ahead of her time.
Yeah,
like if she was competing with the women of today, I think she would have made a even greater impact with women, but she just made an impact, period.
Yeah.
I do got one question for you, Chrissy, before SP moves on. Did Zoey Stark like shoot in hubby's DMs or something?
Say that again?
Because, bruh, I said, did Zoey Stark shoot in hubby's DMs or something?
No,
Because,
you've been very spicy towards
you flamed this poor girl.
Oh, don't give me that shit about being a
you actually.
Nigga, please, don't do that shit.
Ever since Sonya Deville got released, you've been basically promoting and pushing that Zoey should have been the one that got released.
Yo, you've not only shot her, you picked her dead body up and shot her again. You buried her. You dug her out the grave just to chop her head off.
Oh, it's like that video game. What's it is Mortal Kombat? No, was it Tekken? Which one of them like finish her? Finish them. Yeah, that one. That's it.
Yeah, that was you to Zoey last week.
Listen, okay. Okay, let's just be fair. If we're going at caliber of people and things that's happening, I just thought that she probably would have been the better person to have been on the chopping block. We've seen more from Sonya than her. Whatever Zoey have done, she's mostly almost killed everyone. Did you see what she did to Dakota Kai? I'm not lying. If I'm lying, I'm flying. I'm just saying. I'm just only just telling you.
Punctured her lungs.
See, we need like creative people watching this show. If you're creative, if you can just one of Krssy's rants on Zoey, just put like one of the beats, put Euphoria's beat behind it, or put Not Like Us behind it, or put Meet the Grands behind it, just the beat. And I think that it would fit very well.
You know what would be perfect? The Eat the Drops. Like the Eat the Drops after each bar.
Your nerd saying, was Zoey Stark at Capitol Hill on January 6th? What's this Bernie hate for the lady?
It's not even hate. I'm just saying. See, y'all. I think y'all are mistaken facts and hate with is two different things. I'm just saying. I'm just speaking general fact. Did you guys want to see a Zoey Starks match? Put your hands in the chat. I'll wait. Okay, I don't see anybody. I don't see anything.
Well, while you wait, we do have a super chat donation from
Chuck
Chuck
Berries. We appreciate you, friend.
Thank you, Chuck Berries.
We're gonna be waiting a long time. You know what I'm saying? We got 3.5 hours. So just what? Oh, see, you're a nerd. See, now you're just being a troll. I think you're just being a troll right now. It's okay.
Chuck Berry says this is just for keeping me entertained on a consistent basis. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries. We appreciate you for always joining us and showing your love in that
Dion
way.
is upset with me. I'm really. I feel bad. I did that to Dion. Can we send Dion something? I'm sorry, Dion. I feel really bad now. I feel sorry. I feel terrible.
You got even the Public Enemies. The Public Enemies podcast is commenting.
Yo, that's funny.
Damn, I like Zoey.
Name one good thing Zoey has done for you guys.
I love that. I love that Volop comment. Chrissy,
you see,
I
personally
lose. But just so eat the.
I'll say personally, I'm very proud of Krssi. She's just being honest. I like it.
I am just saying, if we're going to, I would rather see Jada Parker than I see Zoey Starks.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I think a lot of people would, but that's because a lot of them are perverts.
Besides the assets,
that's a different story.
Besides all that, my husband was like, "Who's that?" I was like, that's Jada Parker. She's sleeping with Jey Uso. She's one of the girls. That's
Whoa! What are we doing? What are we doing?
You have to give the backstory.
That hasn't been proven. Allegedly. Allegedly. We don't know.
Now, if I'm Jay too, I ain't mad if it's Jay. I ain't mad if it's facts.
I mean, I would sleep with Jada Parker too if I was. Listen, I mean,
You put your hands up if you were sleeping with Jada Parker.
faithfully, religiously.
Accusations.
Okay, fine. Okay. See, this is what happens when I talk to my. I ain't even drink. I'm not. I don't.
Bro, you haven't even been here 15 minutes yet.
I know.
Oh my God! Yes, we need Jimmy Becker. We need Nikki Boy. Where are you? We need a new disclaimer. We need one for
He's
Chrissy.
in the chat.
Oh my God!
Let me write these super chats down. We got 4. Let me write these shits down.
Oh my God, bro, this show hasn't even started yet.
It hasn't really even started yet, but here we are.
Okay, you had actually a question about. Okay, so the list was great, SP. I understand what you did now, and I see why you've done it. Most of the girls that we were all saying on the list have not even cracked the list, but I get it. The people that need to be on the list are deserving. Bianca Belair, the black girl, only one. She beat out Jacqueline.
Well, her and Sasha.
Sasha, you're right. Sorry, my bad.
Black history.
Sorry, I forgot. I'm sorry.
She forgets important people too.
I'm sorry. I forgot. I apologize. I didn't forget to do that to Mercedes, and I like Mercedes. I'm so sorry. Damn it. Okay, I'm sorry. Fuck.
Hey, you got to say sorry with the pose.
Yes.
Let it rain and clear it.
Yes, let it rain and clear it up.
That's what it is. That's let it rain.
Chicken noodle soup.
That's all it is. That's really what it is. It's just very slow, and she's just not doing like the noodle soup side part. But it's okay.
This is a good question. So we have from Brandon Brown, one of our members of the channel. Who do Krssi hates more? Nikki Bella, Zoey Stark, and then Bala B adds the trick question. Tessa Blanchard.
No, I got a fatal 4-way for you. Ronda.
Oh man.
You got the
who do you hate more? Nikki, Zoey, Ronda, or Tessa?
4 pillars of hate.
Imagine if Ronda was on the list. Imagine if Ronda was on the list. Oh my God.
No. See now this is what it's gonna be. I can do it in order. We're gonna go Ronda, Nikki. No. Sorry. No.
Wait, I was gonna say, how is Tessa not number one?
It's Tessa, Ronda, Nikki, then Zoey. Zoey is at the end of the totem pole, the bar. She's at the end of the bar. Still hate is still a muff. But yes, Tessa, and every time everyone boos her, I just laugh. I was like, see, this is what happens when you don't humble yourself and apologize. But a racist will always show their true colors.
Oh, we'll get to that. We'll get to that, by the way.
That's a whole
segment. That's a segment for itself for a reason.
You sure Tessa wasn't a man at one time? Because she looks real like manly-ish in the face.
Whoa, what are we doing?
I love it. I love every second of this.
I mean, she doesn't look like her dad, so that's kind of.
Jesus. I mean, we've broken up happy homes. We've accused people of being transgendered. I mean, we're off to a great start. But yes,
I do see a Thomas in there.
Huh?
I do see a Thomas in there. Before they close
let's totally move on and let's talk about
what really we my tea for real.
What we missed, and we're gonna start off with Friday Night SmackDown last night. Friday Night SmackDown, the show featured the United States Championship one-night mini tournament because LA Knight apparently is in the doghouse because he's been number one contender for a while.
But they let him win.
They did a one-night mini tournament where Jacob Fatu defeated Andrade in a very good sprint. He also had LA Knight beat Santos Escobar, and Carmelo Hayes defeated Braun Strowman via disqualification after interference from Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga. This set up our main event of the evening, where LA Knight just won the tournament. So why the hell did we have a mini tournament for? He defeated Mello and Fatu to become the #1 contender for the United States Championship. Drew McIntyre came out to talk trash about John Cena mentioning his ball spot when Damian Priest interrupted to talk about McIntyre's great year, quote unquote, and his obsession with CM Punk. This brought out Seth Rollins and the aforementioned Punk, who got into a big argument. Some great lines being said, especially Drew, who told Punk, it's been 6 months. You're due for an injury. Oh my God. Like, light his ass up. Light that his ass up. John Cena's music hit to break all of this up. The crowd got excited. Only for Logan Paul to come out, who talked trash about everyone until CM Punk ran him off. We also had Trish Stratus in Toronto kicking off the show and the broadcast from her hometown and introduced the WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton with matching Toronto Maple Leaf jerseys.
Like mother and
Trish
daughter.
and Tiffany.
Isn't that beautiful?
I mean, the way they look, more like sisters. Because Trish don't look like nobody's mother that old. I'm just saying. But you got Chelsea Green and Piper Niven interrupted to set up the opener.
Look at Piper.
Of the
I love it. Yeah, I'm here for it.
The opening matchup as Tiffy faced the WWE Women's United States Champion. However, the match ended in a disqualification after Nia Jax and Candice LeRae interfered, but the mother-daughter crew of Tiffy and Trishy stood tall after fighting back. You also had Roxanne Perez, Liv Morgan, and Raquel Rodriguez defeated Bayley, Bianca Belair, and Naomi in a pretty good trios matchup. Post-match, Alexa Bliss attacked Roxanne. First you had DIY. They interfered in Los Garza versus the Street Profits, which led to a big tag team division brawl on SmackDown with Los Garza, Pretty Deadly, DIY, the Motor City Machine Guns, the Street Profits. Security came out to try to separate these guys, couldn't even keep them apart. You also had Sami Zayn call out Kevin Owens, who was at the site of tonight's Elimination Chamber event, the Rogers Center, and told Sammy he will put him in a wheelchair and watch his family suffer. And Sammy said that he is scared of what he will do in the unsanctioned match and that KO's family won't forgive him after tonight's show. And then finally, you had Michael Cole interview Cody Rhodes to close the program. The Rock gifting Cody Rhodes a new truck with his American Nightmare logo on it. He then sent a video message before boarding his jet to come to Toronto, showing off his new Cody Soul weight belt with the date of Dusty Rhodes' death on it.
That's some nasty work right there. That's dangerous.
That is cold as fuck, bro.
Yep.
That's cool.
Did he approve that? Like, I'm gonna get a belt and I'm having your dad's death date on it?
No, he just told Cody I'm doing it.
I mean, I love the fact that both John Cena and Dwayne did not even like partake and show up at this episode at all. Like, they don't really give a fuck.
Hey, Dwayne came via satellite.
That's true. He did more than John Cena.
And John Cena in the fucking morning.
And right, because it's like dead at. You right. It's dead at in the morning.
Niggas is watching that clip at 11 p.m. and the fucking sun is just coming up.
Hey, he could have been in like Australia or something. You don't know.
Yeah.
You never know.
I mean, that could be it, but I doubt he probably in Hawaii somewhere, leaving in the morning.
Probably so. So.
LA.
Any thoughts on last night's SmackDown, Krssi?
Dragging, but you know, it had its parts, but overall, terrible episode, I guess. For a go home show.
I wouldn't call it terrible. Last week was terrible.
Last week was terrible. Okay, it was a fair go home show. Fair is being generous too.
I guess.
But
yeah. It's a 3-hour SmackDown. Yeah, that is being
generous. It's a 3-hour, and then I was like, damn, it's another commercial. It's another break. Give the Street Profits the goal, please. Like, let them run with something.
At least y'all actually get commercials. All I have to hear is that damn Netflix music. I hate that shit now. I hate it so much. do 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 do.
Oh, when you watch,
That's
oh,
right.
you see them like when you see them posing like in the graphic.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, it's so annoying at this point. Josh, any thoughts on last night's SmackDown and Cody getting a truck and The Rock's message to him with Dusty's death on the belt?
I mean, it was better than last week. SmackDown was better than last week. That's for sure. It's just the 3 hours, man. That's the biggest issue. It's the 3 hours, because if you cut it by an hour, this is probably an overall great episode of SmackDown.
Great. That's a little reach, friend.
No, in 2 hours. I mean, there's things that they did that was good.
Mm-hmm.
So if you cut that down, you cut it down by an hour. You're talking about you're probably talking about like a great go home episode at least. The stuff with LA Knight, I mean, he's clearly in a doghouse. And I've been saying it for a while. Because even
he's like in a nice doghouse because he still won the tournament. Like if he had lost the tournament after becoming number one contender, then he's deep in the doghouse. He's kind of like Snoopy sleeping on top of the doghouse.
He's like he's like he's more like what do you call that? He's more like Bernie Madoff. Like he's in a prison, but he's like in a nice prison. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is for LA Knight.
So y'all talk about me? It's this nigga.
So we accuse people of cheating on their misses. We accuse people of being men, and now we have a Bernie Madoff reference. This might be an all timer.
No, because hey, I'm just saying because LA Knight wants to be a top guy. He thinks he's a top star, and he thinks he wants to go for the world title. And they're like, no, we'll give you the U.S. title again. So it's like it's not much of an upgrade. Like you're at the same level you was at before, so it's like there's not much going on with the guy. But I mean, besides that, I mean, like the Cody and Rock stuff. I mean, it was definitely better than last week, even with the Rock being on video. It was better.
But that was like,
I mean, as far as the whole thing with like the whole thing with like Dusty, like about Dusty's the day that he died, it was just kind of like. So you go from talking about you're friends with Cody and you drink tequila with him, and now you're bringing up his dead father the day that his father died. Like
it's crazy.
Okay, like it's kind of I don't know what he wants to do. It's like like what is Dwayne trying to be? Is he trying to be a face? Is he trying to be a heel? And it's like okay, like and then he has the belt, like Cody's soul, and I'm just like, you're trying to convince.
Like, you didn't even give me a BMW or nothing. You didn't give me a luxury car. You gave me some.
You're trying to convince.
Truck.
Yeah, like
with a fucking
like
on. Right.
Like you're trying to convince the man of joining. You're trying to convince the man of joining you, and you're just you gave him a car, but while. You gave him a brand new truck while threatening him at the same time because you took out the belt. And we all know what happened last year with the belt. So it's like, okay. Okay, that's a choice, I guess.
I like the Mama Rose belt a little bit more. Me.
I do too.
We do have a super chat donation here from Dion Jenkins. Thank you so much, Dion, for the support.
Dion is my new bestie. Just saying.
He says this final boss character has taken a creepy turn. Very Diddy-esque. God damn, that's the second Diddy reference we've gotten in the chat.
Just as long as we don't see no baby.
Well, I mean, it's kind of I mean, he's not too far off because last week a lot of people weren't too happy that The Rock kissed him on the cheek.
Why not?
I don't care about that. I care more that he caressed his face.
Oh, yeah, that too. But because like I don't know, it was bad funny because somebody posted that. Like somebody posted like he kissed him on the cheek, and they posted like somebody like questioning it, like an anime, like to give him like a weird look, and then they had like they had the flag next to it, and I was like, oh no, guys, that's what we're doing. I was like, damn. Yo, it was bad funny. I don't know what's going. Oh man, I don't know, man. Dwayne, I don't know. He's probably going through something right now. I don't know. It seems like a midlife crisis again or something.
We got another super chat donation here from Vala B. Thank you so much, Vala B, for the support. He says, whatever doghouse he's in, talking about LA Knight, it's too good for him. God damn. We ain't fans of LA Knight in the chat, I'm assuming. I see, I'm a good friend. I checked on my friend. I checked on Jimmy Macaram last night because he's a big LA Knight fan. I checked on him. I was like, are you okay? Because your boy's in the dog. I clearly watched him beat. I clearly watched him beat Miz a couple of weeks ago to become the number one contender. Why is there an argument that he's the number one contender? This felt like he was getting further and further into mid-card hell.
So he's a big LA Knight fan, but hates the Young Bucks. Okay. Priorities, I guess. Priorities, I guess.
Really the perfect analogy of a wrestling fan.
Yeah. It's different strokes for different folks, y'all. We got Bala B says LA Knight talks big game, but Buddy has a weak ass spirit. God damn. God damn, Bala B, you acting like you Krssi and he's Zoey Stark. Shit.
Yeah, don't do that to Buddy. At least that nigga know how to do the right shit. Zoey on the other hand.
Sorry, he's calling LA Knight Buddy.
Oh, I thought you meant like Buddy Murphy. Okay, I was like, don't call for Buddy. Buddy ain't shit to do.
Yo, she was ready.
He was about to get it, Bala B. I had to save you. From getting out the way. Shariq in the chat echoes, Mr. Echo saying, this was too much for Black History Month. Felt like some type of white man's burden movie-ish. God damn. WWE didn't even celebrate Black History Month. They usually have the post on social media.
Right.
They didn't have none of that.
Anything this year.
Hey, no,
I guess Vince McMahon was bigger into Black History Month than Triple H. I guess that's why he couldn't see color.
Yeah. Oh shit.
He doesn't see color,
But also, I think what it is. I think it's a situation where WWE is damn if you do and damn if you don't kind of a situation. It's like if they did, people probably still be kind of complaining about it because they're like, you're celebrating Black History Month, yet you're not pushing black wrestlers.
Also true.
Isn't Titus the person that we supposed to be the advocate for all this shit? Where the hell is he at?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Davion says, how come they never talked or reminisced about that segment from the Raw after Mania? Never happened. That and Bad Blood never happened. They're acting like it never happened. We'll never know what The Rock put in Cody's hand on the Raw after WrestleMania, guys. Never. But we have a bunch of news going into about or surrounding this Elimination Chamber show tonight. First one is a little bit of a spoiler. So if you don't like spoilers or if you trust dirt sheets, I don't know, either or, you can pause it right now and then you could skip ahead for a little bit. But there is a rumor circulating online about who the winner of the men's Elimination Chamber will be. Tonight, that match, of course, features CM Punk versus Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre versus Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins versus John Cena. The winner will face Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship at WrestleMania 41. On the latest Sportskeeda Backstage Pass, Dr. Chris Featherstone, who has been doing a little bit of reporting as of late, he reported that the pick to win the matchup at this time from his sources is Drew McIntyre. This means that it would be Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship at WrestleMania. As previously reported, John Cena is currently the betting favorite to win the matchup. So, Top Guy JJ, how much stock are you putting into this report from Dr. Chris Featherstone? And do you think it is going to be Drew McIntyre tonight? And will that feel like a big enough matchup for Cody Rhodes?
No. Then there's no substance behind it. Just no. No. Like nothing. There's no opportunity to do like any crazy like swerve action or do something that would make the event bigger if it's Drew. This is the undisputed WWE Championship we're talking about here. To main event night 2 of WrestleMania. That ain't the match that's going to do it. I don't give a fuck what dirt sheet, what person, what area of space, what fucking internet thing that they're using with their fingers, what UFO they got this information from. That shit ain't happening. That ain't happening. Sorry, no.
When I first saw this report, I think it was Cultaholic were talking about it, and I was just like, well, that would go over like a wet fart. Like we got ourselves so excited about the possibility of a John Cena or CM Punk winning this matchup. Even Seth Rollins did a good job on Monday Night Raw of making him and Cody feel like a big time matchup, even if he wins. But that would even be the third option. Like, I love Drew McIntyre. I want him to have a better matchup at WrestleMania, but this feels a little too far.
This ain't it. Like, the two ones that is not winning this match for sure is Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Those are the two.
I think it's Damian Priest.
And Damian Priest. That would be 3. That's 3. That's 3 because Damian Priest definitely ain't winning. So it's 3 of the 6 that we know for sure ain't winning this match. So it's going to be one of the 3 big dogs. It's either Seth Rollins, John Cena, or CM Punk.
Yep.
Like because you have story with all 3 of them. What the
that
fuck
makes sense.
Would you do with Logan Paul? What the fuck would you do with Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre? If this was 2024, then yeah, you might have me on something there. And if he won the rivalry with CM Punk, you might have me with something there. But he lost to fucking Jimmy Uso last week.
That's also true. Also true.
Like, what are we talking about right now?
See, and look, JJ knows that. He doesn't even watch wrestling like that.
Nigga lost to Jimmy Uso, and you talking about he about to main event WrestleMania fucking 2 months later?
Yeah, that would be wild. That would be wild if he did win. That would
at least Jey Uso was in a championship match.
At least Jey Uso beat Drew on the Raw Netflix premiere.
Just catapult Drew after an L to Jimmy Uso to fucking main event WrestleMania. Yeah, that makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, I know. Josh has never been a fan of Dr. Chris Featherstone's reports. So, how much stock are you putting into this one that Drew McIntyre is going to win tonight's Elimination Chamber, Josh?
Drew McIntyre.
Yes, that came. I was wondering if you caught the actual name that was the report.
You came back right on time.
He did though, really did though.
Yeah,
Drew McIntyre. I mean, I love Drew, but what? Like,
it's literally the same exact.
I love Drew. I'm a huge Drew McIntyre fan.
He won last year.
Yes, there is a story there with his whole relationship with The Rock that we've seen play out mostly on social media that they can bring to TV here. But I'm just saying,
I don't think that's not compelling enough.
Night 2 WrestleMania, Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes. I don't know. If
it's not compelling enough for me. I mean, and I love Drew, and you know how big of a fan I am of Drew McIntyre, even before the heel turn. But Drew, I mean, I don't know. It's definitely business-wise, it's definitely not the best choice right now, right? And it's not against Drew. It's just you got something there more with Cena you could do with Cena.
Right.
Because like he's the heavy favorite. Cena's the heavy favorite for a reason.
Some people need to just put this out. I'm sorry.
And
it's more compelling. I think that's way more compelling. But Chris Featherstone, I mean, besides the way that I feel about him, he's been very hit and miss. He's not on point with a lot of things. He takes one thing, he hears about it. Sometimes he takes other people's reports. So I don't know what to believe.
That's probably the guy that they purposely give wrong information to, and he reports it as a leak.
Maybe that might be.
After that, he'll run with it, and he'll run with it. That's the problem.
We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out tonight. That's the problem.
Yo, you mean it's crazy though that you said that? I'm like, that's kind of the problem with him. Is like he hears one thing or maybe 2 things, he'll run with it. But guess what? If he's completely wrong, guess what? He's not gonna admit to it. He's just gonna double down.
He's gonna write another article.
he's gonna double down. No, you said tweet about it. He's gonna double down and try to talk shit about the wrestling community, like he always does. Because when he's wrong, he can never admit when he's wrong, so he takes that on everybody else. So we'll see. We'll see if he's right or not.
Okay.
No, yeah, he's one of those, and it's some people try to give him advice. Some of the top reporters in the business try to give him advice, and he'll tell you, "Oh, thank you very much for it," and he still won't listen. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes tonight.
And when the fuck did that leave John Cena?
Dude, like I was like, where does that leave John Cena? We know Punk and Seth will probably do something with Roman, but like, yeah, please don't do John Cena versus Logan Paul. Like we
don't, yeah.
Like a lot. We have to understand. I'll get to this super chat. Call me Mr. Bonda, but let me just break down the past decade of John Cena at WrestleMania has not been good. Like there is a generation of professional wrestling fans who don't know what a good John Cena WrestleMania match looks like. Because over the past decade, he had the Rusev match at 31, which cool, it's memorable because Rusev came out in the tank and he fucked his wife in the tank. That was cool. Then there's WrestleMania 32. Where Cena was injured and he just came out as a run-in after The Rock did the 10-second match with Eric Rowan. Then there's WrestleMania 33 that me and Top Guy JJ were live for, where all he did was a random mixed tag match and asked a woman that he did not get married to get married.
Yes, I forgot about that shit. Oh,
yeah.
Then there's worse than that. It gets worse than that, Krssi Love. Then there's the following year where my ass went running to the concession stand when he faced the broken down Undertaker in a 5-minute match and got squashed.
Yes. That's what he was begging for, a WrestleMania match. Yes, I forgot about that. He kept showing up
5
everywhere.
minutes.
It was 5 minutes.
The entrance was 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
John Cena got no offense in that match. It was a literal minute or 90-second squash.
Then there's WrestleMania 35, where he just made a guest appearance as a Doctor of Thugonomics against Elias. Cool. Then there's WrestleMania 36 in the pandemic, which might be one of a lot of people's favorite matches of John Cena at WrestleMania, but it was not a match. It's the Firefly Funhouse, which basically broke down and poked holes in every bit of the character that John Cena has been over the last 20 years. Then there's There's WrestleMania 39 against Austin Theory.
That he lost.
Then there is a guest spot at last year's WrestleMania, and now you're gonna give him Logan Paul. Yes, Logan Paul will probably perform his ass off, but I am sorry.
That match he had last week with Rey Mysterio.
You can't tell me that John Cena started his retirement tour hyping up his chase for 17, and then he's not gonna be in the title match at WrestleMania.
I mean.
Make it make sense.
Yeah. But then also that would be kind of a big problem with the company itself, because when the idea was thrown out there for Cena and Logan Paul, it didn't get great reaction. Not only from the fan base, it didn't get great reaction from backstage. That's not what they wanted, so they kind of pivoted off of that. So if you go back to that, then it's just like, oh, so fuck us then, right?
We do have to read this super chat donation from Call Me Mr. Bonda. Thank you so much for the support. As always, Mr. Bonda, one of our favorites in the chat. He says, if one of the old men win the chamber, I will have remember the scripture and says, be angry and sin not so that I can sleep tonight. I know that Call Me Mr. Bonda, he hates the nostalgia. He hates the old men in the company. But I am saying, Mr. Bonda, you'll probably be one of the few people happy about Drew McIntyre winning, but it just doesn't have the compelling story.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Any of the other three big options in this matchup have.
And also, I mean, and that's also on WWE. It's also kind of on them because they kind of just gave us this idea of who they're going to use and how they're using them. We're kind of just getting that. And, you know, I get it. Some people don't want Cena, and I understand that. But at the same time, it's like with WWE, it's like, who can you really put there that's going to, you know, draw people to attending WrestleMania?
All I want to see is John Cena sell his soul tonight. That's all I want to see. I just want to see John Cena sell his soul because the amount of
it can happen. It can be either
will garnish will be magical.
Also, from what I understand, Triple H said this week that basically tonight's Elimination Chamber is what industry changing, whatever the case may be.
Industry changing event.
Yeah, right. So my thing is if Drew lines up with The Rock, is that industry shifting? No, it's not. Cena becoming a heel, that kind of is because we've been seeing Cena being a babyface for over 20 years now.
Yeah.
So I mean, you also got to consider that. Paul did that to himself. He said it. So I expect something big.
You know how Paul always puts his foot in his mouth or hand or whatever. It's foolishness.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, he always does.
Do we believe it? I mean,
not really, but it's like he did it to himself. So I'm like, I expect it, and if he don't get it, guess what? I get to talk more shit. So it's win-win for me.
It's also true. Also true. But let's talk about The Rock a little bit. As previously reported, The Rock showed up on last Friday's WWE SmackDown and told Cody Rhodes that he wanted to be his WWE champion and that he wanted Cody's soul. It was noted that his appearance came together the day before and plans for the episode were shifted as a result. During Tuesday's Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer indicated that The Rock recently appearing on WWE and inserting himself into Cody Rhodes' storyline has helped ticket sales for tonight's WWE Elimination Chamber Toronto. Meltzer said they've moved like 2,500 tickets since Friday for the Chamber show. That's pretty good. So there'll be probably over 30,000 by the time the show's there, maybe more, probably more. Business-wise, it's going to be a difference maker. However, Meltzer noted that The Rock's TV return has made some people unhappy internally within WWE for completely changing the game plan for WrestleMania. Meltzer continued on the subject. He says, I don't think that that's the angle, any kind of a positive. I know that there's definitely people not happy with the way they had a game plan, and now the game plan completely changed this last week. But it's probably only changing for a couple of people. I guess we'll find out Saturday if they change from Cody and John Cena, and I don't know where The Rock, fits in. WrestleTix reports that the ticket sales for Elimination Chamber Toronto saw an increase of 2,292 tickets sold since its last update a week earlier. The event has sold a reported 29,836 tickets for a setup of about 32,119, with a reported 2,283 tickets unsold at this time. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, WWE writers were confused and thrown for a loop by what happened on SmackDown last week. A source added the six-man on SmackDown had to change. This was not as last minute as some are trying to say it was, but it did happen rather quickly. And then finally, Worked Wrestling, after last night's SmackDown, put out a tweet adding their own update on everything going on following last night's SmackDown. And Worked Wrestling tweeted out, as if it wasn't clear in how it's coming across on screen, this wasn't the original plan. WrestleMania plans have been in a flux since The Rock made the call to be back in the mix the past few weeks. So go to you, Miss Chrissy Love. What do you think about The Rock coming in and changing things up? It had an effect and a positive effect on the ticket sales, but what do you think is the effect it's having on the road to WrestleMania? Do you think it's going to be better because The Rock's here, or do you think it's going to be worse?
It'll probably be at the last ending of the show. Of when they probably do this, they like to wait So either because I think they want to see who the chamber winner person would be, or they might do it before the chamber. Who knows? But I think it'll be entertaining. He's putting people in seats because obviously they weren't selling a lot. So once they added him to the card or to the stipulation, it made people like, maybe I need to go see this live or whatever. I mean, I think the best seat is in your house, but whatever. Anywho, but I think it'll definitely add to the entertainment of the whole stipulation of what Cody might do. And The Rock with his antics, he will definitely go be drinking and be off the rails. I expect all of that.
I think the segment is going to be before the chamber matchup. You can't close with a segment. I don't think you can main event with the talking segment on a pay-per-view.
Okay, so then before. Or maybe open up the show.
Could do that. But I think they'll book in the show with the chamber matches. Most likely. JJ, what have you thought about all the changing and everything that's gone on since The Rock's been back for the past week?
A little confusing, but I think at the end of the day, it is going to end up being a positive because he actually gives the WrestleMania an actual road. Before it didn't have like much of a road. They were just putting matches together, and it was just like, okay, yeah, this is okay, but there was no real meat on the bones. Like The Rock gives it the quality of meat that you need. Pause, but you need to just. This show needs substance. WrestleMania needs a level of substance, whether you like it or you don't. The Rock gives this show substance.
They haven't done anything for the ladies, though.
And you're gonna, when the fuck do they?
Might as well let it be Zoey Stark if that's the case. They don't give her nothing.
1 year, and that they did it to the SP's number one woman in the women's wrestling list. It's probably one of the main times that they actually gave them a spotlight. But now with this whole little soul thing, I do think that the soul segment is going to happen before the chamber, and if Cody refuses that, The Rock will have someone's soul by the end of the night.
Yeah.
So you think we're gonna find out who will align with The Rock tonight?
The Rock is not leaving empty-handed tonight. I don't believe The Rock is leaving empty-handed tonight. It might not be with who he wants, but it will be with who he thinks can be the next person that can be that person that's everything you've ever wanted and all of that bullshit.
Well, before I ask the question that is in our headline of who will align with The Rock if Cody says no, and it seems like all of us are on the same page that we think Cody's going to say no, there is someone who is a candidate. There is someone who is yeah, he's too much. He's too much white meat baby face. But there is someone who is a candidate that had something to say about The Rock's return, and that is the one and only CM Punk. CM Punk feels a little differently about The Rock's return to WWE than he did 13 years ago. And he explained why in a new interview. Punk spoke with our good friend, our good brother, the Daily Boy's own Alex McCarthy for the Daily Mail, and talked about how, compared to when he criticized Rock for taking a WrestleMania spot back in 2011, he has changed his perspective on the Final Boss and others making part-time returns to the company. On The Rock's return potentially impacting him, he says, I'm sure it will. I'm sure it's going to trickle down and impact everybody. I think one of the difficult parts of this is being so big. There's so many moving parts. You're seeing it with John Cena now. Definitely, I have a different perspective on it now than I did 10 years ago when I was working with The Rock. It's easy for everybody to say you're not here, we're grinding, we're doing this. The schedule now is so much more limited than it was 10 years ago. I can't point a finger at anybody else and say, well, you're not here. On Rock's value to the company, Punk said, there's no denying what a giant box office star The Rock is. I think peeling back a little bit, being the final boss instead of a happy-go-lucky Rock, I think that is a character that can say, yeah, I'm not here all the time, so what? I'll show up for 8 minutes every 6 months, and it'll still be the biggest thing. I think there's freedom and there's an air to play with that a little bit, and it makes it better and more real and more exciting for everybody. So hearing what Punk had to say there, there are a couple
Phil.
of.
Oh my God! Is there something happening to Phil? Is he okay? I want to feel his forehead. Is he sick?
Well, Phil is one of the options. I see Jamie Williams is very adamant that he wants to see that in the chat. He wants to see a corporate Punk. Of course, me, I went in on our Elimination Chamber preview earlier this week and last week with Josh and Chrissy about I'm very adamant that the biggest thing would be John Cena turning heel because that's the white whale of WWE that we never got. So we at least need to get at least once on this retirement tour. And then now you have the whole report of Drew McIntyre, and Drew has his relationship with The Rock. There is Seth Rollins, who has, crossed over to the dark side before and sold his soul. Like Cody said, you turned on your Shield brethren to join the Authority. So there is like four big options out there to play with, and maybe there's someone that we're not thinking of. But I will start with Josh. Who will align with The Rock if Cody Rhodes says no tonight at Elimination Chamber?
I'm sticking with John Cena. I said John Cena last week, and I'm gonna stick with John Cena. Now with the whole thing with Punk, last week I was joking because I was like, Punk is already kind of a corporate shill. He kisses a lot of ass already, so I was like, that's just an easy segue for him. He could just go in and and I know when I was having a debate with Romeo, his thing was when he was talking about it was it wouldn't make sense for Punk because of The Rock, Dwayne, all shit. But I'm like, we're dealing with a different CM Punk. We're not dealing with the same CM Punk that we once did. So even if he did line up with The Rock, it's not so much that it wouldn't make sense. It's just he would turn heel. When people turn heel, they do dumb shit. So it's like it kind of would make sense from that aspect. But then also, if Phil really wants the Mania main event, he would have to sell his soul, and that's why that story will make sense. So I mean, Cena, I'm gonna stick with Cena just because I think that's the bigger one. I think that's something that we haven't seen heel Cena since he first got into the company. It's something that we haven't seen, but then also even the idea of Cena turning heel, it wouldn't be so much that he's turning heel. It's just one of those things where he could still play in his mind that he's a face. He's just doing what he has to do. Kind of like Peacemaker, right? Peacemaker thinks he's a good guy, but then in reality, he's a piece of shit because he thinks he has to do it by any means necessary. So I think that would be kind of similar to if he joins up with The Rock.
Go to you, top guy JJ. Who do you think will align with The Rock?
I'm really torn between CM Punk and John Cena. Like, I'm really torn between them. I said what I wanted. Like, what I want is to see John Cena turn. That's all I want from tonight. But when you remember when CM Punk first came back, the first things that he said is, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money. CM Punk has still garnered no allies since becoming a part of the WWE.
He has one, actually. Got a favor. You got to keep forgetting about the favor.
Yeah, but that.
Yeah, I think Stephanie Chase, when I did the preview for Elimination Chamber on Fightful, she made a good point. Putting Punk into this does convolute the favor. It does. It's too much. It's too many things. It's too many things. Yeah. Now you got The Rock. Now you got the favor from Paul Heyman. That also involves Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. It's too much.
So I'm torn between it because of listen, WWE don't always make sense. So that is kind of where I'm at with it. I think the most sensible thing would be obviously let's shock the fucking world and make it John Cena. Because then that still leaves CM Punk available for Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. Like you gotta have an ultimate climactical finish between those three. Like that's gotta come to an end at some point. They can't drag that on to SummerSlam and shit like that. Like we haven't seen Roman since the Royal Rumble, so we know we need to come upon this finish. So it would only make sense to have those three finish the story at WrestleMania per se. that leaves one person. That leaves one person. And it has to be John Cena. So I'm going to go with John Cena.
Krssi, you want to give what's your answer? Who do you think will align with The Rock?
I think it should be Peacemaker. I think that's the better of the choice because we've never got to see Peacemaker be Peacemaker. However, you guys saying that this favor is convoluted is getting very like too disheveled, too much seasoning in the soup. Probably so. However, how do we still get Rock and Roman for next year? We got to throw that favor in there some kind of way.
Well, Rock and Roman, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to kick that. It might come next year. Dwayne has said his story with Cody doesn't need to culminate in a match. So does he even want to do the match with Roman anymore?
That's also true. I didn't even think about that.
And then The Rock is getting older.
He is. He's not the same Rock no more. Yeah, he can't.
He's going on 52.
Yeah, the in-ring expiration.
That ain't all though, peeps. Hello.
Just saying, like
let's hold on.
It's old in wrestling years. It's old in wrestling years.
Listen, Sting can still jump off of the stands. He can too.
But the thing is that Sting is way more active in the he was way more active in the wrestling scene. He doesn't have the body type of The Rock either. So the activity level has to be high all the time for The Rock to be involved in wrestling matches, because if he goes in the ring, he will pop something.
Okay, fine. Peacemaker it is then.
Because even last year when when he wrestled, he was very conservative. Like he worked, like a 52-year-old. Like he worked his style because he's too big. He's too big.
He was working like one of the New Japan dads.
Yeah, because that was his mistake when the first time he came back when he was in his 40s. That was his big mistake. He thought he was still 26, and he burned out. So like last year he kind of he conserved a lot of energy, and it did work out for him because he did take some big bumps that I didn't expect him to take.
Yeah.
But for a one-on-one match, it just, if I'm getting what I saw last year to a one-on-one match, it's not going to go very well.
Related between the two only, yeah, that's going to be very hard on people's eyes to watch.
We might have passed the time to do the Rock and Roman matchup. The best thing you can do is probably Cody and Rock at this point, but we shall see what happens here. But it seems like we are unanimous. But I'm gonna also say John Cena is my pick. I need that to happen. We had our good friend Corey Michaels actually watched the Elimination Chamber preview and did a whole article on it on lastwordonsports.com. So like
really?
He added the bit of they should bring an orchestra to do Time Is Now. And he should come out with shirts with a tie and stuff.
He's a corporate guy.
Yeah, he's a corporate guy. He only pulls out the jorts when he's actually going to wrestle.
It opens up WrestleMania, man. It opens it up. Like it gives you more to work with. Because
right now WrestleMania is not looking like.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, Cena doesn't have a real opponent that would be justified for his final match at WrestleMania on this farewell tour.
Yep.
Like he ain't gonna get the Kurt Angle treatment. That ain't happening. He's gonna get a big match. And what bigger way to, go into the sunset of your wrestling career than to have these big moments to end it.
Mm-hmm.
He deserves it.
Yeah.
I agree. So
yes,
that's why we're all on the same page there. John Cena, the two-man Hollywood power trip. John Cena and The Rock.
And he has a job with them next year. He already confirmed it last year in his post conference that he basically is getting a job with WWE when he retires. So he's already
he's getting his feet at the border directors when he shakes the hand of The Rock, the director of the board of directors. But our good brother, Top Guy JJ, I know you got to run, good brother. We appreciate you for joining us today and talking all about The Rock and the mess that he's making with WrestleMania, or the beautiful mess that he's making with WrestleMania, and of course talking about my top 10 greatest WWE women's wrestlers of all time. So we appreciate you for joining us. Monday Night Raw is our next subject.
Okay, yeah, we can finish.
I will give you the spotlight now, Top Guy JJ. Let everybody know where they can follow you.
Now that shit is funny.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's Monday Night Raw. I thought it would have been like if it was a prediction or something, I would have stuck around for that. But yeah, Raw, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, on Instagram you can find me at Tru Heel _Top Guy JJ, and on the channel here I will probably know in a couple of weeks when my next appearance would be. It probably March is a long month. I don't know if it's if you read on the calendar, this is like a 5-week month. So
no holidays, no nothing. This is straightforward.
It's a long month. So I'm gonna see what this schedule looks like and see if I could probably squeeze in like one more episode here in March. Because I know April, that definitely is gonna be an April episode. I just don't know the actual date yet. But if I could squeeze out one more in March, because there's still 4 more Saturdays in March, so there's still a possibility. You know what I'm saying? Like March is a long fucking month, so we'll see what happens, and then yeah, I'll stay tuned. But yeah, I can't wait to see Elimination Chamber tonight. I gotta go pick up these flu games. This is about. I gotta go get these 12s because I gotta get them before the raffle closes that I won. So I need to get them shits real quick before I got to spend $500 on the resale market, which I'm not doing. So, you know, got to catch them. And it's like a 45-minute drive to get to where we're going. So it's kind of deep. So I just pause. But I just want to make sure that we secure the bag and we come back on time for Elimination Chamber tonight.
Okay.
There you go. And hopefully you could pop in on our watch party for Elimination Chamber tonight. But thank you so much for joining us today.
Confirmation all in the game. I mean, usually when the first day of the month is a Saturday,
that means we got 5.
Usually 5 Saturdays in the month.
If it's the first or second day, it's a Saturday, we got 5 Saturdays.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. But thanks for the confirmation, though. Appreciate that very much. But
bye, Bo.
Love you guys. It's always good. Always good. Good seeing you. And Chrissy, just don't kill anybody else today.
I'm gonna be. I promise I'll be great for the rest of the day.
I
feel really bad. I want Dion to be my friend. I'm really sorry.
You know, if it's really bad, or somebody else, like they
it's not supposed to be. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I feel really bad.
I'm mad I'm gonna miss that subject. I ain't gonna lie, because God, I'm probably gonna be watching live on the drive to see what the fuck Chrissy's reaction is gonna
Please
be.
do. Yeah. Thank you, Top Guy.
Peace, y'all. Love.
Later.
Dion, do you take my apology? I'm really, really sorry.
I mean, he did send us a super chat, so I'm sure that he does forgive you. He does forgive.
I'm sorry. Well, I need to see it. I'm more of a visual person. I didn't see the super. I saw the super chats, but I need to see that he accepts my apology.
Okay. All right. So confirm in the chat, please, Dion. WWE Monday Night Raw on Netflix this week. The show took place from Cincinnati, Ohio. Great crowd on Monday night. The show featured one of the best ever women's tag team title match since these titles came back in 2019. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defeating Bianca Belair and Naomi in an excellent main event to win the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. The crowd were on the edge of their seat for the near falls towards the end, as well as the finish of this matchup. Meanwhile, you had some build up for Elimination Chamber tonight as Sami Zayn cut a terrific promo about his rivalry with Kevin Owens, explaining that he went to KO's home and talked to his mom since he wasn't there, but he couldn't look himself in the mirror, not knowing what he planned on doing and not knowing what he was going to do in the unsanctioned match at Elimination Chamber. Gunther was on his shit again as he had a hand-picked opponent in Akira Tozawa. After talking down to him in a great promo, Gunther beat Tozawa in a fun squash. Post-match, you had Gunther beat down both Akira and Otis of Alpha Academy until his WrestleMania 41 opponent, Jey Uso, made the save. Ludwig Kaiser actually picked up the victory against Penta and Pete Dunne in what was a good triple threat matchup. Lyra Valkyria defeated Dakota Kai in a very good bout to retain the WWE Women's Intercontinental title. Post-match, Ivy Nile attacked Lyra. Braun Breaker beat Dominic Mysterio via disqualification thanks to the Judgment Day. Post-match, Braun got the better of the Judgment Day despite the numbers advantage and stared down with Finn Balor, who tried to attack him with a steel chair. And finally, Cody Rhodes tried to address The Rock's offer from SmackDown last week, but he was interrupted by Seth freaking Rollins, who questioned Cody for even thinking about taking The Rock's offer, saying that that was a slap in the face to him for everything that he did to help Cody at WrestleMania last year. This led to Cody bringing up Seth's history of selling out to the Authority and betraying the Shield. Rollins responded by telling Cody not to make the same mistakes he did before saying that he is coming after the undisputed WWE Championship after he wins the Men's Elimination Chamber. Chrissy Love, what did you think about Monday Night Raw this week? I said it on Rated Raw Review. I will say it here again. I think this was my favorite Raw on Netflix since the premiere.
Yes, I would have to agree. I think Raw this week was great. It was good. It was much better than SmackDown. You would thought this was a go-home show than the other show, but whatever.
I mean, it was a go-home show. It was a go-home show. Yeah.
Fair, fine, but it's Monday. We got Friday. Whatever. Okay, but yes, great show. That women's tag match. Wow, the Nair Falls. Oh my God, it was so. I'm happy that one, they closed, and two, they did their thing, and I really wasn't expecting Liv and Raquel to win. I mean, I'm happy.
I was.
Really? Okay. I guess you have to tell the story for WrestleMania now because one of those girls is going to win. So it makes sense. And we still have not known what happened to Jade. So I guess it's going to be like the story had to end eventually. But I'm not mad at the decision of making the girls win again. Poor Dakota Kai. She can't catch a break against Vicaire, and no one cheers for Vicaire. Sorry, wrong person.
Lyra, what are you talking about? The fans were doing the dun dun dun. Oh, dun dun dun. Oh, they were doing those.
When she won, it was very quiet though, because I think they wanted Dakota to win. Just thanks. Okay,
there you
thanks,
go.
Dion.
You got it.
Appreciate you.
You got it.
See, okay, he hurts for you, friend. But yeah, I think they were kind of disappointed, like myself, at the fact that, Dakota yet again keeps wrestling the same girl and she keeps losing.
I mean, let's be fair, Chrissy Love, since you're talking about people not reacting. They don't react to Dakota Kai. They're not upset.
Fair. Fine.
I hear Dakota's whole music, and I don't hear not one person saying yay. I'm just gonna be real. Nah, you want to come after my girl Lyra when they had people. She had the people in Cincinnati going dun dun dun. Oh dun dun dun. Oh dun dun dun. Oh dun dun.
That's what they did.
Dun, dun.
They just you got catchy music. That's all they did. They didn't do anything else.
Hey, that's a bigger reaction than Dakota Kai got.
Now on to Gunther. Gunther, great. Finally, Gunther showing who Gunther is. Unfortunately, it's still his run is really shitty. Sami Zayn, great interview promo. Loved it. We didn't talk about them from SmackDown, but whatever.
They had a good promo segment on SmackDown.
They've been having great promo.
They're killing it. They've had the best build to Elimination Chamber.
Yes, they have, and I feel like it's being overshadowed because I think they're having one of the best storylines for this company so far, and it's not really like getting like its recognition like it should. Especially Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens been doing some good ass work, and I don't think they're praising Kevin Owens at all.
That's fair.
But other than that, great show for Monday.
Indeed. We got to talk about some news, though, because earlier this month, we talked about how Ray Phoenix confirmed that he was under contract with All Elite Wrestling. However, the Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that WWE is said to be making plans for Phoenix whenever he is able to join the company. It has not been confirmed that the luchador has been released from his AEW contract yet, and Phoenix himself said that he hadn't been, but WWE apparently is already making plans for when he is available, similar to what they probably were doing with Ricky Starks. Just saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying there's contract tampering going on, but I'm saying. Anyway, in related news, the Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that the recently released Aleister Black, aka Malachi Black, under his WWE name of Aleister Black, is expected to return to WWE, quote unquote, imminently. No other details were provided about when or where. So I got a two-part question for my good brother here, True Draw Josh. What do you think about the whole situation with Phoenix, with WWE making plans for him despite his deal not being done quite yet? And when do you think we will see Aleister Black back in WWE?
The stuff with Phoenix, not too surprising. Because remember last year they were speaking to both of them. So, I mean, it's not too far off to what they want to do or have any plans or any set plans. I don't think there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. It looks very obviously other people will look at it as suspicious or sketchy, but they want to plan ahead. As far as Aleister Black, I think he probably shows up after Mania, sometime after Mania. I don't think the way everything has been going, that even if you bring him to the fold, I don't even think he's going to be in Mania plans. So I think the best scenario will probably be after post Mania, basically.
Yeah, I think that you make a good point because we haven't had any reports that he's been signed by WWE. It's always been imminently. He's coming in. So it makes it hard for me to believe that he's going to get what I wanted was him to get the big return at WrestleMania. I think that would have been a huge statement for how WWE views him, that they view him on a similar level that they viewed Cody Rhodes coming in 2022 and want to make it a big deal by having him return at WrestleMania. I think it is more safe to probably assume or guess that it'll probably be a Raw after WrestleMania return, which is not as good. I don't think it's as good, but it's still good.
I was going to say the same thing. It's cool, but we would prefer it to be on the bigger stage, like come on night 2 or whatever. I don't know, but
it
will make more sense that you're showing your value into this person and you're like very like ready to put him in the game and like ready to like make him be like a surprise like partner or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it would be better that way.
Yeah. To answer, call me Mr. Bonda in the chat. He says percentage on getting Styles versus Breaker for the IC title at WrestleMania SP. 0%. I've been saying it for weeks. There is a reason why Braun Breaker is feuding with 101 people on Monday Night Raw. It's not because he's getting a one-on-one matchup at WrestleMania. It's because he's doing a multi-man ladder match at WrestleMania. And this week, you helped me bring up a report that I didn't have in my agenda here, Mr. Bonda. So thank you for that. But WrestleVotes on the Backstage Pass podcast over on Sportskeeda this week reported that the current discussion right now for WrestleMania is to do a multi-man matchup of some type for the Intercontinental Championship. And I shared that report in our Tru Heel Heat chat, and I went to Romeo because me and Romeo have been saying it for at least a month now on Rated Raw Review. It's like Braun Breaker is probably versing a mixture of all these guys. He's done stuff with AJ Styles. He's done stuff with Penta. He's now done a stare down with Finn Balor. You had Ludwig Kaiser get that win in that triple threat match. There has to be a reason for that. Pete Dunne's still in the mix. Sheamus still has his quest to win the Intercontinental title. All these guys are going to be in this type of multi-man ladder match, and I don't think that's a bad thing for Braun. I think Braun could still stand out at WrestleMania in that type of matchup.
So you want him to still win? Is that what you're saying?
No, I want Sheamus to win.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to be
Just finish that Sheamus story. We've gone on too long. It's been like 5 years now.
So make him like a have all the titles. Is that what it is? No, he won't be a Grand Slam because he's never won the.
Yeah, he will be a Grand Slam. He will be.
He's won the NXT too.
Well, that they don't count that in Grand Slam. They don't even count. Mr. Bonda mentioned earlier. They don't even count Charlotte Flair's 2 NXT women's titles runs to make her a 16-time champion. They're still calling her a 14-time champion because they're only counting the main roster.
Got it. Okay. So yeah, I would like for Braun to drop the title as soon as possible. Poor Finn Balor can't get a break. It's just.
I forgot that Braun is on that list that we made earlier. He's lower than all the ladies apparently.
No comment. I'm sorry, you guys said that this run was really like mediocre too, though. So
no, it is. They have not booked him well since he first got a shot at the Intercontinental title last summer.
Right.
But Braun is great. Don't get me wrong. His booking is not. Braun is great. Gunther is great. His booking is not.
Yes.
Like there is a difference.
There's a difference. Yes. I
think Finn Balor is great. His booking is not.
His booking is below all of them. I think he has got to be the worst booked person on the roster besides the New Day.
I will never forgive Triple H for the New Day. I'm seriously like I'm gonna hold the bigger grudge. People already think I hold a grudge against Triple H for the Reign of Terror. I will hold the biggest grudge because of this whole New Day thing. This New Day
thing is like it could have been so good, but it's so bad. But I didn't even think that there was a reason to do this. Like, what was the like? What did you tell? Like, how did you poach these guys? Like, say, hey guys, like, we're gonna make you guys heel. Okay, how does that even all work? Like, what's the process? Like, I'm in. Like, tell me what happens. Like, you change our god awful, you change our music that everyone loved. Now it's even worse. Now we got like these dark outfits that no one believes us. You made Kofi shave his beard, half his beard off. It looks stupid. Like, I don't understand what's happening right now. Like, God, we just came off of Black History Month. They really don't give a shit about us, man. I promise you.
In all in the game says what happened to all that heat New Day had. They had a heatless match with the LWO because they're having a match with the LWO. They have been completely thrusted into the mid card depths right now.
Is it even mid cards? I feel like they're even at the bottom of the mid card.
Yeah, they're in lower card. It's lower card. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, you see, you're being generous right now, SP. Don't do that. Like it's really bad. Like it's just like dirt. Like it's.
Kofi losing to Rey Mysterio was a choice. It was definitely a choice that they made, that they did. We had some big announcement in regards to some shows coming up for TKO and WWE. TKO has officially announced that Perth will host several WWE and UFC events over the next couple of years. It was reported on Friday morning that the Australian city will host several new events for TKO, and the company announced the news on Friday evening with the press release. The announcement notes that WWE will host a weekend takeover, including Raw, SmackDown, and a WWE pay-per-view later this year, along with a UFC fight night later this year and a UFC pay-per-view in 2026. WWE and UFC parent company TKO Group's Holding also announced a jam-packed weekend of events at the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, Missouri, where they will hold back-to-back events with the Professional Bull Riders promotion, UFC Fight Night, and Monday Night Raw. The event kicks off with PBR on Thursday, April 24th. Following that, it would be UFC Fight Night on Saturday, April 26th, and WWE Raw on Monday, April 27th. Meanwhile, WWE will also have one event take place in Saudi Arabia this year, with 3 taking place there in 2026. During Wednesday's TKO 2024 earnings call, TKO CFO Andrew Semler revealed that they will have just one pay-per-view in the country this year, with 3 including the Royal Rumble the next year. This marks the first time outside of COVID lockdown era that the company will deviate from their pattern of 2 events per year in Saudi Arabia. The CFO of TKO said, "Our guidance for 2025 includes 1 PLE in Saudi Arabia compared to 2 PLEs in 2024. This results in an unfavorable impact to our 2025 plan of approximately 55 million of total company revenue. We expect to host 3 PLEs in Saudi Arabia in 2026, including the Royal Rumble." Saudi Arabia, guys. It's gonna be good, right? No? Okay. Moving on. Last month,
you didn't have to report it because we really didn't care to talk more about it. But it's your job, so continue, friend.
Last month, WWE and ESPN announced an upcoming ESPN original series, Stephanie's Place, where former WWE president and women's champion Stephanie McMahon travels the world and chats with WWE's biggest superstars. Now it looks like WWE is looking to revive its official podcasts as well, with Stephanie McMahon at the forefront, according to WrestleVotes. According to their report, WWE is to launch an official podcast series hosted by the daughter of Vince McMahon. WrestleVotes writes, "A very interesting name is set to debut an official WWE podcast soon. Stephanie McMahon will be launching her own podcast series expected this spring. Given her life and experiences in wrestling, this series should be as compelling as they come." WWE previously launched its own dedicated podcast network in late 2019, which included shows such as The Afterbell with Corey Graves and The New Day Feel the Power. Alexa Bliss also had her own podcast, Uncool with Alexa Bliss. However, the podcast series eventually fizzled out, with the shows all coming to an end in late 2023. The weekly digital series, The Bump, also came to an end in 2024. Stephanie McMahon was named the new co-CEO of WWE in July 2022 after her father, Vince McMahon, initially resigned from his post in the company following the emergence of sexual misconduct and trafficking allegations against him. She later resigned from her position in January 2023 after McMahon returned to the company. After stepping away for a while, she's recently made more appearances on WWE programming as of late, along with the news of her upcoming TV project. WWE has yet to announce or confirm the new podcast series, Stephanie's Place, debuts on ESPN Plus later this March, though. So Stephanie is coming out, and she's doing shows for WWE, doing some outside of the WWE usual programming. Are y'all going to watch?
I'll probably watch it.
No.
I love it.
Because it's gonna be the same crap, and even the podcasting doesn't interest me, because we all know when WWE produces podcasts, it's just you're getting the WWE niche of things. You're not gonna get any hot topics. You're not gonna get anything big. The biggest thing for Stephanie, we all know what it is, and she's not gonna talk about it for obvious reasons. So it's I have zero interest in it.
We shall see what happens there. But yes, we got here. I'm starting to see. Call Me Mr. Bonda says Hunter doesn't like black men. Since when? He shows them the DX blackface segment and Booker T WrestleMania 19 promo. Seems about right.
I mean,
I'm not saying you're wrong. Saying you're wrong. New filings in the shareholder class action lawsuit against WWE allege that the company's investigation into Vince McMahon was a sham, and that the McMahon manipulated the sale process to TKO for his benefits. WrestleNomics reports that the lawsuit, which was originally filed in November of 2023, is with the Delaware Court of Chancery, and the new filings include a second complaint, have provided a new look into the claims that the shareholders are making against the company. The combined case features plaintiffs who are part of pension funds from Ohio and Michigan, along with Dennis Plowkin. who has been involved in previous class actions and against WWE and other companies. The plaintiffs made a legal demand to inspect WWE's records and obtain copies of WWE's board of directors meeting minutes. The filings state that the minutes have provided insight into WWE's decisions around the McMahon investigation and merger process. According to what the plaintiffs have made public, several board members, including Manjit Singh and Ingus Lamborn, attempted to resign the day after the June 2022 report about Vince McMahon's payments related to sexual misconduct allegations, but that Stephanie McMahon, then still a board member, persuaded them to stay through multiple voicemails and emails. Stephanie McMahon was made interim CEO and chairwoman the next day after Vince McMahon resigned. Several on the board, including Singh and Lonhard, did resign in the weeks and months that followed, with those two in particular resigning shortly after Vince McMahon forced his way back into the company in January of 2023. The complaint cites that board minutes by stating while Singh and Lonhard are agreed with the company's with the board's decision to explore the company's strategic alternatives, they did not agree with Mr. McMahon's return at this time. The filings also claim that the board's investigation into McMahon's conduct was a sham, and states during McMahon's brief hiatus, the special committee, including defendants, then WWE board members Steve Kanoon and Steve Paulin, conducted a sham investigation of the allegations against McMahon. The special committee facilitated the cover-up by ensuring that they received no written materials throughout the entirety of that committee's existence. The special committee did not interview McMahon's victims, did not reprimand or otherwise basically have any consequence towards McMahon, and received no interview reprimanda, reviewed no evidence, made no factual findings, and issued no report. I mean, I could have told you that the whole McMahon investigation was a sham when it started. Like, I knew that this is gonna be bullshit, that it was just PR. Yep. It's a whole bunch of PR speak with WWE. Oh, we're doing an investigation. Oh, we're doing this. You know what was a big tell that there wasn't a very valid investigation? Is when Triple H is asked, did you see the lawsuit? And he says, I didn't read it. He's a member of management. The fuck are we doing?
That's true. That's very true. You're absolutely, yeah. I mean, I didn't even need that to tell me like this was all BS. But you know, whatever. You guys like it, I love it. It's okay. Like we y'all cover up each other's shit. It's you know. If I was black, you'd have me underneath the jail, but it's all right.
You know, that's where Diddy gonna be. But we had one more show to talk about from WWE this week, WWE NXT, which was also from Cincinnati, Ohio. The show did big, 799,000 viewers. The show featured Ricky Saints and made his in-ring debut by teaming with Javon Evans to defeat Wes Lee and Ethan Page in a very fun main event. Ricky had his brand new music, which we'll get some opinions on after we're done talking about this.
You called it from the get, but I'm sorry.
I did. I actually did. I did.
You called it. I'm sorry. You finish saying what you're saying. We'll talk. Sorry.
Stephanie Vaquer beat Carmen Petrovich in a very good match to retain the NXT Women's North American Championship. However, post-match, the NXT Women's Champion Julia came down to challenge Vaquer to a title versus title match at NXT Roadblock, which she accepted. The Hardys made their return to WWE by defeating No Quarter Catch Crew in a rock-solid tag team bout. Post-match, the NXT Tag Team Champions Fraxium stepped up to the Hardys, leading to a challenge. This led to TNA Director of Authority Santino Marella, equipped with his WWE theme, got a huge pop. Made the match for the TNA World Tag Team Championships coming up at Roadblock. Speaking of Roadblock, you had Moose. He picked up a win defeating Alexis King to retain the TNA X Division Championship, becoming the first man to defend a TNA X Division title on WWE programming. Post-match, NXT champion Oba Femi challenged Moose to a title match at Roadblock, which he accepted. But There's a lot to kind of talk about from this episode of NXT. But I will go to you first, Miss Krssi Love. What did you think about the Ricky Saints theme music?
I don't like it. It didn't. I mean, he changed the name. I figured he would have someone like get him some banging music, and he didn't get that. I mean, listen, I'm happy for Ricky. I'm happy that he's here where he wants to be. But I'm seeing the flags already.
I had to listen to it a few more times, and I don't hate it. I don't like it.
I don't like it, but I don't hate it. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not bumping it in like the car.
No, not like his Mikey Ruckus theme.
Yes.
Josh, what about you?
I've listened to it a few times after, and it sucks. It fucking sucks. Like, I'm not gonna hold anything back. It sucks. Like, I don't like it. It's not a bop at all. Like,
it's not a bop at all.
It's like it sounds like a fucking car insurance like music. Like,
wow.
It's just not. It's not it. It's not it. And then even like the voiceover was like it sounded corny. Like it was his voice, but it sounded corny. It's just I don't know. Like I didn't like it, and the crowd reaction didn't help either because it was kind of like. They didn't know to either cheer or to be excited. But then these were the same morons that cheered Toni fumbled. And I'm just like, you weren't even cheering for the man. And you're talking about the man fumbled. Like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? Which one is it? Because, I mean, hey, he's doing what he wants to do. Like Chrissy said, hey, he's doing what he wants to do, but I don't see anything that positive as of now, so far.
It's fair. That is fair. I mean, Toni fumbled was a good chant, though. I will give them that.
No, it was a good chant, but they did get it from somewhere else. Even though the other chant was more "fuck you, TK," it was more that than anything. Yeah. I mean, they also did cheer. Toni fumbled in that show too, but but I mean, it was just like I don't know. It was just a weird thing to cheer about. It's just like you motherfuckers weren't going crazy for him, and then now you're cheering this. Okay, like it was just weird. The whole aspect of it was weird. The theme sucked. The crowd wasn't into it. Then they cheering that. It was just like it was a mixture of what the fuck.
So what do you think, Miss Krssi Love, about the Julia versus Stephanie Vicaire matchup? We have to bring up the report that came out after this NXT matchup because a lot of people were confused with this matchup being named for Roadblock when you have your biggest show of the year, Stand and Deliver, during Mania weekend coming up, and a lot of people thought they would do that matchup then. But the report came out from Brian Alvarez of Wrestling Observer Live. He said that one of the participants in this matchup is a little bit banged up and may be injured. That's why they are doing this match at Roadblock. And then Mike Johnson, a PW insider, came out and said that the person who is hurt or banged up is Julia. The Wrestling Observer newsletter came out yesterday and said that Julia is not as injured or hurt as was originally reported, but that might be the reason why we're getting this match early. But what do you think about that match going down in 2 weeks' time at Roadblock?
Well, if she's banged up, why are we not letting her rest? Why are we putting her in a match so soon and let her just let her rest up and be good for Mania?
Because they want her to drop. They want her to drop the title before Mania.
Damn.
To get the rest.
I mean,
so you're gonna so Stephanie's gonna have 2 belts?
2 belt Stephanie.
Well, then give one to Jordan fucking Grayston. I mean, you just brought her over there. Like, what the?
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
it's a match that people are excited about, but
right, like
it does come off as bloating your load too soon.
I think this match off is happening too soon.
But if she's injured and she's hurt, then I understand. But to say that, oh, she's not as injured or hurt, but yeah, you're doing this matchup because of that, something ain't mathing.
It's not mathing to me, because I'm like, if we want someone to rest, wouldn't we give them longer time to rest instead of pushing them to go have a fight in 2 weeks?
Yeah, and then the show is in the theater of Madison Square Garden. It's in a theater. So you're telling me the theater is more important than the T-Mobile Arena that has 20,000 people in it for Mania weekend? On top of that,
listen, I mean,
choices.
This is choices, and remember, she debuted at last Stand and Deliver Mania weekend. She was there, and they was excited to see her, and then they took forever to put her in a fucking ring. But hey. Now
she got hurt before she got here. She was hurt with the wrist injury.
God damn it, Sean! The hell are you doing over there?
I don't know, but it made sense to me when I saw this report. I was like, a lot of her run makes sense because it felt like her run was being fast tracked. Like it was on a speed run.
Speed run. Like she got they brought her over here. They didn't want to like mess up the contract that they said you're gonna give you the belt. Okay, that's fair, fine.
Give you a short reign, you get one title defense on a PLE, and then you drop the title to Stephanie.
It's just
why do we have to give Stephanie 2 belts though? Like I'm like so confused.
I don't get that. There's way too much talent on this NXT.
Right, that's what roster. I'm saying. Like I don't.
One woman. But it's also been kind of what I've been saying too about like everyone's saying like that the women's roster in NXT is better, which I do agree with.
It is, but we put on the same.
It's better because of like it's better because of 3 or 4 women. But then it's like, when you're focused more on that aspect of things, it's kind of like, what about everybody else? And I think that's why I've been having like the nitpick problem of it, just because like I get it. Stephanie and Julia are the top 2 women on the roster. I get it. At the same time, it's like they keep introverting to each other. It's kind of like a cycle between them. And then now they're gonna finally have a match, but then it's like you have a bunch of other people that you give Stephanie the title, which I get, but then it's like now she's gonna have 2 belts, and
what are we gonna do? And then how's that run gonna go? Then you're gonna all talk about why she got 2 belts. And all, I promise you, they're gonna critique that shit and be like not happy.
Yeah. She's pushed too much.
Yeah,
I'm already seeing the post of people saying that Julia and Vaquera are being pushed too much, but here we are. Quick
at the same time, they are, but then it's like, this was kind of the idea when they were signed last year. So it's like It's happening. Like this is what they kind of wanted, but then it's like you're going to get into problems when you do that, and we're starting to see everything that I kind of said last year, kind of going into the forefront. It is what it is. Thank you, HBK.
That's what I was like, Sean, what are you doing over there?
Quick notes of news. We had the Hardys a return to WWE this past Tuesday. Of course, they beat the No Quarter Catch Crew. They will face Fraxium at Roadblock on March 11th. The team are currently signed with TNA Wrestling and are the tag team champions. And of course, TNA and WWE have a working relationship now. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that at this time, there have been no discussions about using Matt and Jeff on the main roster. A source noted that while it's possible the idea will get pitched, it hasn't been discussed yet, which is kind of the juxtaposition to the report we heard earlier in the week from WrestleVotes, who said that the Hardys will get a run on the main roster, but we shall see about that. And then Pete Rosenberg is one of the new voices of WWE for WWE Evolve. When the show debuts next week, Shawn Michaels revealed in an interview with Rosenberg that the radio host and sometimes WWE kickoff show panelist will be the voice of the upcoming series. In addition to PW Insider reporting that, they reported that Robert Stone will serve as Rosenberg's partner at the commentary table. WWE Evolve debuts on March 5th on Tubi. can get a comedy special on Netflix or Tubi. Every time I hear Tubi, I have to repeat the Cat Williams line. But we are done talking about WWE for this week. Let's go on over to the land of the Converse, AEW.
I said that out loud. Sorry.
You did. AEW Dynamite this week did 598,000 viewers, so up from the week prior on TBS. The show featured Swerve Strickland. He came out to address his rivalry with Ricochet. This brought out Ricochet, who bragged about being a winner, like the Philadelphia Eagles, and had the Super Bowl hat on, and not needing a rematch.
A total dork, I swear, but it's so good.
It's not funny.
It's so funny.
Yo, I was dying the whole time because I was like, what the fuck is going on? Yo.
This led to Prince Nana after Ricochet said he didn't want a rematch. He made an offer he couldn't refuse by presenting him with a number one contenders match at Revolution. Ricochet accepted, and then Nana talked to Swerve and went over their past together and asked Swerve to fix his legacy by getting the robe back, or else he can't do this anymore. So a lot of stakes going into that number one contenders match at Revolution. Hangman Adam Page, meanwhile, he picked up a win over Aaron Solo in a quick squash. Post-match, Hangman cut a fired-up babyface promo calling out Maxwell Jacob Freeman for spitting in his face the week prior. This brought out MJF, and he revealed that he bloodied Hangman's friend, Christopher Daniels, backstage. We saw Daniels bleeding himself by blading, but that's besides the point. Will Ospreay defeated Brian Keith in a very good opener, probably Brian Keith's best performance in AEW. Post-match, Ospreay brawled with Kyle Fletcher in the crowd. That got the crowd very hot for this feud here. The Outrunners beat the Murder Machines in an upset to become the number one contenders for the AEW World Tag Team titles. Harley Cameron beat Deonna Purrazzo in her first singles victory on Dynamite. Cope brawled with Claudio Castagnoli until Wheeler Yuta and Marina Shafir attacked from behind. However, a distraction from Switchblade Jay White led to Yuta delivering a Psycho knee to Marina. White took out Yuta before Cope gave a concerto to Claudio, and then Willow Nightingale came out to deliver a concerto to Shafir in the first great segment for the Death Riders since October. Congratulations. And then finally, to cap off this very good to great episode of Dynamite, we had Konosuke Takeshita defeating Orange Cassidy in an absolutely tremendous main event to retain the AEW International Championship to set up Takeshita versus Kenny Omega 2 at Revolution. Chrissy Love, any thoughts on this week's Dynamite?
Dynamite was a solid show. I liked it. Had some great matches.
Yeah, and good matches and the promo work. I thought the Ricochet Swerve
was like, was the best part. Is that Ricochet? I was like, yeah, he's like their version of Drake. Still a cornball, but still winning. Great stuff, guys.
That was a great comparison. Great comparison.
Great.
John, Ricochet definitely been winning more though lately, but
that's what I'm
saying. They've been winning more lately. No, I mean the show. I mean it was a fun episode. They did a lot of things right in this show. And what I've been liking about AEW lately, the last few weeks, is that, they've been on a good track. I like the stuff that they've been doing, right? Which is not over the top. They've been doing solid episodes, and that's basically what I've wanted, because I felt like sometimes what was going on with Dynamite was that they'll have like a great episode, right? Almost top notch to the point that you're expecting a really bad episode. And I haven't really gotten that lately, which I like. I like the fact that they're doing everything that they need to do to lead up to the shows that they're building up. And I think that's something that they need to continue. Obviously you're going to have that one show when they do like a special on TV. I understand that. I think that one you kind of, you up that. But what they've been doing is, the continuing storylines. People can't really complain about there's no stories, even though we have a fat fuck like Bully Ray always trying to say some shit like that. And it's just like, what? So we don't have Hangman and MJF? We don't have stories? We don't have Ricochet and Swerve, we don't have stories all of a sudden. Like, get the fuck out of here with that. Osprey and Don Callis family, we don't have stories. Come on, you ain't gonna sell me that bullshit. People still fall for it, and that's on them. But I've been enjoying it. I've been enjoying what they've been doing, and I'm just like, that's all I really want. Just keep the consistency, keep it moving, and I think Revolution is gonna be another banger. Why? Because TK has not. Every time it comes to Revolution, there's just something about Revolution for some reason that he's like, all right, I'm putting my dick on the table.
And they've also took the point of making the Dynamite and Collision episode. They've made the smaller arenas. It's helping them.
Yeah, and there's a connection between Collision and Dynamite. Yes. It doesn't feel like two separate shows anymore. It feels like a continuation.
They've been doing two shows. They also what they've been doing too is that they actually have been filming on certain weeks of Collision and Dynamite on the same episode, just because they were getting feedback
like 4 or 5
hours. Because they were getting feedback from talent. It's more of a talent thing. Because they were getting feedback, and talent actually does prefer like the two shows on one night. Because of the traveling, because of the traveling. So that's why they've been doing like there's a few weeks. I know there's about two episodes coming up that is filmed, like it's going to be taped. So there's a lot of talent that prefers that just because of the traveling. Imagine going from Tuesday travel day, being there for Wednesday. And then you have to travel out again, and then basically you're flying out the next day again after you just got back.
Trust me, I'm sure. Like if that,
so
maybe they should have like a start time instead of having people there till like 12, 1 o'clock. Maybe start at like 6.
Yeah,
so you can have
start
the taping. Start earlier.
I like it better when they get one arena and they do 2 nights. They do Wednesday.
Yeah, I know what you mean. They do that. They do that as well. They tape Thursday. They also do that as well. They've been doing that as well too. They do back-to-back days.
That makes sense too. Yeah,
it's a mixture of things that they've been doing. But I also like the fact that the Collision has been a continuation of whatever they're doing, and then you'll get some spots of like spots sprinkled in that wasn't maybe on Dynamite, but they're continuing on Collision. So it's been consistent, and I like that. I like the fact that it's been consistent. I'm like, hey, want to see more of that.
We got Call Me Mr. Bonda, says Willow got to quickly get past Marina Shafir and head straight for Toni Storm at AEW Dynasty. I just love that Willow had a smile on her while she gave a concerto. That was awesome. But it's not all good news for AEW, unfortunately, because they have their own lawsuit right now.
Of course.
A new one.
I think it's more funny than anything. It's more funny than anything. So it's more funny. I'll get into it. Don't worry.
As previously reported, former AEW wrestler Ryan Nemeth issued a complaint to AEW executives over his issues regarding his exit from the company and conflict with former AEW star CM Punk. Fightful reports that Nemeth filed a lawsuit in the Los Angeles Supreme Court on February 14th against All Elite Wrestling AEW CEO and President Tony Khan and CM Punk. Nemeth's lawsuit alleges assault, breach of contract, breach of implied covenant of good faith and fair dealing, and intentional interference with prospective advantage. Fightful reports that the lawsuit alleges that CM Punk, real name Phil Brooks, took part in a campaign to terrorize and intimidate Nemeth, including physical assault. Also, Nemeth claims that Tony Khan did nothing to protect him and other talents from Punk's despicable conduct. Because of Khan's deep fascination and admiration of Punk, and he was their most popular talent. Nemeth alleges that Khan took a blind eye to Punk's behavior. The lawsuit also states that during his time in AEW, Punk was also an employee and served as an executive leadership role. It says that in early 2023, Punk assaulted and battered 2 wrestlers known by their stage names as Matt and Nick Jackson, aka the Young Bucks. It's not clear if this is meant to be referring to the backstage incident that took place from All Out 2022. Nemeth's lawsuit claims that Khan felt that Punk could not be removed from AEW without a substantial loss in profit. Khan also allegedly presented to AEW executives and wrestlers that producing the new AEW Collision show in 2023 was contingent on Punk's involvement as the program's top star. It also claims that while Punk was suspended, the former AEW World Champion made it known that he despised Nemeth, even though Nemeth did nothing to Brooks whatsoever. Punk reportedly made it known that he was angry with Nemeth, and Nemeth says that Brooks has a notorious history for taking violent action against others for no reason. Later, April 16th in 2023, Nemeth contacted AEW executives to inform them about his concerns that Punk would return from his AEW suspension and attempt to assault him. Nemeth also claims that on the next day, Tony Khan and other executives from AEW contacted him to explain what happened. Nemeth says he calmly and factually explained, and that he was attacked by Brooks in the locker room. Nemeth's account indicates that Punk received no punishment from AEW, including following this incident. After the locker room incident with Punk, Nemeth reportedly spoke with in-house counsel and attorneys for AEW, who promised to Nemeth that he would not be benched by AEW as a form of punishment. After the June 2023 incident in the locker room with Punk, Nemeth claimed he was not booked by AEW for a match for over 2 months, resulting in his AEW income stream drying up. He also claims that his popularity and marketability faded due to his absence from wrestling. Nemeth later contacted AEW's legal department again to complain that he was being punished for an incident that he was not at fault at. He alleges that CM Punk was responsible for his being benched, and Tony Khan was complicit in Punk's desire to attempt to ruin Nemeth's wrestling career. The account also claims an incident that occurred on August 12, 2023, where Nemeth was booked for an AEW TV taping in Greensboro, North Carolina. He claims that Punk reportedly saw him en route to the sports arena and began texting. Pat Buck later contacted Nemeth in order to speak with him after getting to the arena. Nemeth spoke to Pat Buck after arriving and was informed by Buck he needed to immediately leave the arena, and travel would be arranged for him to fly out the same day. Nemeth claims the incident was embarrassing and humiliating, as it happened in front of other wrestlers who saw him being kicked out of the arena. He also claims that the fans saw him leaving the arena and took pictures, which were posted on social media and viral, causing irreparable damage to his marketability and reputation. It's alleged that Punk engineered the incident and demanded that Nemeth be told to leave and flown out of Greensboro, which Tony Khan went along with. Later, August 5th, Nemeth contacted AEW's legal counsel and complained about being ejected on Punk's demand, and it said that lawyers were stunned and offered no explanation for Punk's conduct or Tony Khan's. After continuing to follow up with AEW's legal department, Nemeth says that the AEW lawyer, Chris Peck, reached out to him in a bizarre email threatening legal action against him, accusing Nemeth of using a ghostwriter in his emails. Ryan Nemeth claimed that Tony Khan was left heartbroken by CM Punk's exit from AEW. AEW fired Punk, terminating his contract in September 2023, stemming from his backstage incident with Jack Perry, and Punk would later sign with WWE, making his return at Survivor Series in Chicago on November 25th, 2023. Nemeth alleges that an infuriated Tony Khan blamed him for Punk leaving AEW. Ryan Nemeth alleges that the defendants have embarked on a campaign of blackballing Nemeth from wrestling, and Nemeth Khan utilized significant resources to hinder Nemeth from making a living in wrestling again. The lawsuit calls their conduct malicious, in that they intended to cause injury to the plaintiff and acted willfully with a conscious disregard for his rights. Currently, Ryan Nemeth is reportedly seeking compensation damages, conservatory damages, and punitive damages, and he's demanding a jury trial. Nemeth is currently signed as a wrestling talent to TNA Wrestling. So they didn't hurt your ability and marketability to get signed somewhere else. So
pack this shit up. I'm sorry. Fuck this, Nick. Pack this bullshit. I don't want to even I'm sorry. Kick rocks, bro.
Josh, anything to add?
That was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm just waiting for SP to finish because I'm like, this is some.
Just
book, like,
I mean,
this,
honestly, it's hilarious because
it's a reach. It's a reach, bro. Like you're reaching, and like, who are you? I forgot you was even at the company.
Yo, it's just funny because, right? People, somebody, right? Somebody who's a WWE grifter on X. They were trying to bring up like, oh, AEW, they technically have two lawsuits against them going on, right? Ongoing. But then it's like if you look at the two lawsuits, it seems like it seems meaningless. It seems bullshit. In my opinion. We already know about the first one. We already went over it. And this one, this dude just sounds fucking delusional. Like complete out of like, we're talking about like somebody who's not like living in reality. Like, first of all, the dude has never been good in the ring. And that's just me being honest. He's never been fucking good in the ring. That's why he wasn't being booked, because you're not that good. And then even when you spoke on the mic, you weren't that good. You're not your brother. Like, leave it to your brother. Because even there was a segment on TNA where Joan Hendry said he did a song of him and basically said, "You're this guy's brother." That's it. That was the song. You're a fucking joke.
Yeah, he said I made a song about your career, and it went to the video, and it was he's Nick Nemeth's brother. The end. Like the company that signed you after even takes you as a joke if they fucking approve that. But all I'm saying is it sounds like a bunch of bullshit. The fact that you think that you were fired, that Punk was fired because of you is just complete delusion. Complete fucking delusion. Like, oh yeah, that has nothing to do with the fight that he had with Jack Perry in the back. Has nothing to do with that. That's why he got fired. Like, get the fuck out of here. And then he said that Punk like assaulted him out of nowhere. It's like, what? I mean, hey, we know Phil has his problems. We know he has like,
Phil is not an angel. We know Phil is not an angel.
The fact that, but the way they made it seem like is that there were incidents where he would go, Ryan Neville will get to the arena, and then Punk is like beating him up. Like he puts him in the locker room and like beats him up. That's what the fuck it sounds like.
It sounds like Punk was giving him swirlies.
Yo, that's what it sounds like. And like we all know how Punk is, and I'm like, even I don't believe that, because with Punk, usually when he puts his hands on somebody, he has like an agenda of why. I just don't see the fact that he doesn't like you. Punk doesn't like a lot of people, but how many people have you heard that he fought because he doesn't like them? There's not many stories of that. Like, we know he hates people, but I've never heard of a story from Punk that, oh, he doesn't like this person, or he's gonna fuck him up every time he sees him. That's weird. That's a problem.
It's on site. He sees
yo,
on site.
And like, but then also like, are we gonna forget that this man wrote on Twitter, "Softest man alive"? Like, are we gonna forget that he took a shot at Punk?
He did not mention that in the lawsuit. He did not mention that in the lawsuit.
Are we gonna forget that? I think it's meaningless. I think it's bullshit. And the fact that he followed it in California, I think that shit is same thing's gonna happen. It's gonna be sent to Florida. They're gonna put it in Florida. The AEW is gonna put in a request. That shit's gonna be sent to Florida. And AEW is going to have home court advantage again. So I don't see it going very far. I think the man is very delusional.
Yeah,
he's very delusional because honestly, like even his thing in wrestling, he's not even really a mid-carder in my opinion. It's total delusion. It's very baseless. If he has proof of it, then hey, present yourself. But the fact that it's just a bunch of he said, she said, and you want a jury trial. There's a reason why you want a jury trial, because it's probably not going to go very far. So you want a jury
try to
involved.
make them feel all sad and try to sympathize with you. No. Go sit down somewhere.
Yeah, it's just mad funny. The whole thing is funny. It's just like the dude has become. It's a fucking clown show. Like that's what that is. This is like Drake suing his label because you pushed a song about me. You pushed a song like 50 Cent didn't file a lawsuit on Scope when they were pushing G Unit. I'm just saying. But this shit just seems so fucking stupid.
It was funny. It was funny going through that because I knew the response I was going to get from both of y'all. Great stuff. You'll see this on as its own separate video.
Response. Holy shit! No, Krssi response.
Great.
Listen, I mean, I'm just saying what we were all thinking because it's all biased and like it's just stupid. And the fact that he's wasting court documents, time, lawyers' fees, he'll probably have to pay out more to the lawyers than what he even receives. Would you want a job back? Like, what do you want?
And this doesn't affect AEW in that aspect of they have the backing, they have the financial backings to even push it if they really wanted to. They don't lose money out of this, so that's why they're gonna probably push it because they're probably gonna he's probably gonna be forced to like drop it because
he's
financially he's not gonna be able to keep up with that.
Yeah. But we got other news that doesn't put the AEW in the best light either. The Wrestling Observer newsletter and PW Insider reports that Layla Hirsch is no longer with All Elite Wrestling. Will be a free agent starting tomorrow. Her contract expires on I think this was Friday. No, yeah, it was Thursday actually. Thursday it expired. It ran through the end of this month. Hirsch worked on a per appearance deal with AEW starting in 2020 and then signed a contract in March 1st, 2021. She hasn't appeared on AEW TV since June and hadn't won a match in AEW since March 30th, 2022. She was injured after that and came back in June 2023. However, she was mostly on the ROH brand after that, with only 4 AEW TV losses to her name in that time. Her last match with either AEW or ROH was at Final Battle on December 20th in Hammerstein Ballroom. And then to follow up this, Friday's Wrestling Observer Live, Brian Alvarez stated that more people are expected to exit the company in March. This could range from talent getting released to talent not having their deals renewed. He added that Layla would not be the last person to depart the company in the next 30 days. It's unclear who exactly will be let go, but Keith Lee hasn't been able to wrestle due to his medical clearance issue since December 2023. Meanwhile, you have Ray Phoenix, who we brought up earlier, that comes to mind as they put him on the sidelines after adding injury time to his contract. And he's expected to go be WWE bound once he is free and in the clear. So, who do you think? Do you think that someone like a Keith Lee will be leaving AEW? I would think that if you're adding injury time to people, you should probably add it to Keith Lee's contract and keep him for a little bit longer. But what do you think about do you think that Ray Phoenix will finally be let go in the next 30 days? Yes or no, Josh? I think you're. Oh no, Josh, you're muted. So let me unmute you.
Sorry. 30 days. No.
No, you don't think so?
Not in 30 days. No. Maybe more like 60 days. I think less than 60 days will be more possible. I don't think a month. You're talking about right now. March 1st, you're talking about April 1st. Does he get released April 1st? I don't think so. I think they're probably going to have a certain thing because of Mania. Maybe that's going to be a kind of a thing that they're going to try to say, hey, you're going to stay in your little box, solitary confinement until then. So I think about 60 days.
Guantanamo Bay. Krssi, what about you? What about you, Krssi?
Guantanamo Bay.
Do you think that Ray Phoenix will get his release?
Hell no. Try me back in 6 months, Fred.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I'm just saying, it was a couple of other sites that brought up Keith Lee, so that's why I brought it up here. I think that Keith Lee, I just want him to be healthy. I'm not thinking about him leaving.
AEW with Keith Lee is a different situation because he hasn't been cleared. He hasn't been medically cleared, so it's not a fact of like, oh, he's put on ice because he's not used. He's just not cleared at all. So I think with him, adding more time, I think would be kind of like, more justified, just because like if he really wants to work there, and he's kind of made his feelings known, like he still wants to work, like he still wants to wrestle. It's just he hasn't been cleared. He hasn't been cleared for almost a year, and it's pretty concerning. Over a year. It's pretty concerning because I know he did work through an injury. That's what happened. He was working through an injury, and it got worse, unfortunately. It happens. It's wrestling. It's the wrestling business. People work through injuries all the time, and unfortunately, it caught up with Keith Lee. And right now, all I care, like you said, all I care about is like if he's healthy and he's, because he had a health scare.
Maybe he could be a coach or something. Maybe he could be a mentor or something. Maybe the injuries are too much.
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of injuries and also like just overall his health. Because he did have COVID that one time in WWE, and that almost
took him out.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean, all I care about is like if he's healthy and he's all around. Yeah, that's all I really care about. So hopefully he gets better. Hopefully things work out, and if it works out, it works out. It was meant to be.
Barry Bloom is in the news again, guys, because there's someone who's probably not leaving AEW, and that is our boy Hook. Barry Bloom has signed AEW's Hook for representation, as confirmed by PWInsider.com, ahead of future contract discussions. While the signing occurring months prior, it's anticipated that AEW will ensure Hook remains with the company. As of this writing, it's unclear when Hook's contract with AEW will be up, but signing with Barry Bloom, I mean, it's a good chance you're re-signing with AEW because, like we said the last time we brought up Barry Bloom, he represents Kazuchika Okada. He represents Kenny Omega. He represents the Young Bucks, Hangman Adam Page, Chris Jericho. Someone else we said might be coming to AEW, Josh Alexander. All of these things have a similar thing to them. They usually sign with AEW. But I like the fact that we're starting to know like agents and representation in wrestling. Like we brought up last week about I think it was Cedric Alexander signing with Mojo Rawley and his group, and now Paradigm is representing a Hollywood agency, is representing some WWE talent like that, like CM Punk and I think Alexa Bliss as well. So yeah, I like the fact that we're starting to know like the inside workings of wrestling a little bit. That we're starting to know these names like Barry Bloom and Mojo.
I like it because it's like sports, right? It's like in the NBA, I'm not too familiar with it, so I'm not going to even try to like.
Rich Paul is the number one name because he's Clutch Sports. That's LeBron's like best friend, his childhood friend that represented him.
So
he represents Anthony Davis and all these top NBA stars.
Yeah, because like the only one I knew about familiar with was Leon Rose, and that was before he got the Knicks job. Like I knew he was a big name on that too.
And Rob Pelinka represented Kobe Bryant before he became the GM for the Lakers.
Yeah, and you start to see that more too. You start to see agents become like having big jobs in the NBA with that more so. And in baseball, you have Scott Boras. That's the biggest name, Scott Boras. And then the dude that represents Shohei Ohtani, just because of the contract he pulled off, like signing Ohtani the way that he did it, and then getting that contract with the Dodgers. So I mean, it's cool in wrestling that you're starting to see that, like you're starting to be familiar with like. And I even said it last week. I was like, WWE wrestlers, when they sign with like a corporation or more like a group, that means they're probably staying in WWE or whatever the case may be. With Barry Bloom, it's like, all right, they're coming. They're staying in AEW or they're going to AEW. So it's like, it's a cool thing to know that because it's kind of like people will say, "Oh, that's a debt giveaway." Sometimes you never know, and that's what makes it kind of exciting. Like, you know, it makes that exciting, but then also it's good for talent. You know, they have an agent. They're aware of what they're doing. They're aware of what they're signing. That's the most important thing. Know what you're signing, and that's what you have your agent there for.
And in the final bit of AEW news before we wrap up AEW with Collision, the February 19th episode of AEW Dynamite featured the post-match angle with Chris Statlander, Penelope Ford, Megan Bayne, and Thunder Rosa that caused a lot of confusion among viewers. Following Statlander's match, Ford assisted Bayne, prompting Thunder Rosa to interfere with a chair. The segment appeared very awkward to everyone watching, with Bayne and Ford displaying a lack of concern while Thunder Rosa hesitated to use the chair. Initial online speculation suggested that Bayne and Ford had acted independently, but AEW sources clarified that to Fightful Select, this was not the case. The issue was attributed to a miscommunication from a coach or producer regarding talent positioning. AEW sources confirmed that the situation was addressed internally after the segment, and there were no lingering issues between the involved parties, and they all are ready to work together. During a recent edition of Busted Open Radio, AEW star Thunder Rosa addressed the controversial and highly debated segment. Thunder Rosa, on her takeaways from the segment, her takeaways were, the takeaways that I will have to say as a performer is always ask questions. Be sure of what you're doing in the segment. The segment didn't go the way that we wanted it to, and it showed. But again, I love what I do. I love my job. Wrestling is my passion. Wrestling has fed my family, and wrestling has given me an opportunity to be here, to create Mission Pro, Sabotage Wrestling, on why she didn't swing the chair. So I just want to say that people depend on me, my family, my son, my parents, the people that work for me, nonprofit organizations I advocate for, always for safe first. And I honestly couldn't justify swinging the chair at the moment because it was not safe at the moment. On there not being any backstage drama over the segment, there is no drama. We're all talking. We were all talking and praising each other. We were trying to be as positive as possible. Like, I'm telling you, I enjoy coming to work, and I'm not the only one. There are a lot of girls, they come out to do the work. Statlander, she was so supportive and nice, and we were all sitting and talking and everything, and we went over the stuff, receiving feedback on learning from their mistakes being a positive thing. And I'm telling you, it's a positive thing. There's nobody trying to kill each other, none of that stuff. There's no point. Again, it's like, how are we going to grow if we're fighting? Mistakes are made. It happened. We have to grow, and we talked, and it was fine. I think, Krssi, I understand your reaction on her saying she couldn't swing the chair. You have to understand, Thunder Rosa has a reputation. The whole Britt Baker sandbagging thing and people saying that she's unsafe to work with. Remember the whole big thing with the leaks from Ibu and Selfmade PW with AO, who said that there's a lot of girls that don't want to work with Thunder Rosa because they think she's too stiff. That's why she couldn't swing the chair.
Okay.
If she swung the chair, it just would have continued the reputation. Oh, she's doing stuff she's not supposed to do. Oh, she's unsafe to work with. I understand where she's coming from.
Okay. So why come out with a chair?
Because she was supposed to come out. Literally, like I said, I gave you the report, the Fightful report. It was a miscommunication. The two girls were not supposed to be in the ring. That's the whole point. They were not supposed to be in the ring. They are heels. The babyface comes in with a chair. The heels are supposed to get out the ring. There was a miscommunication. They didn't know what they did.
It did look like someone missed we did talk about that when it did happen. It looked like someone missed the mark. Someone did the wrong thing, and it is the two heels that messed up the whole situation. Got it. Okay, I'm sorry.
She couldn't swing the chair. The safety.
I'm gonna say, just threw the chair down and just go in and attack them. Then, like, I mean, I don't know. You didn't have to look there like so awkward and
yeah.
off.
I mean, I just
like it looked bad. So
yeah,
it's your fault and their fault. You could have just threw the chair on the side and just like, I'm gonna go attack. I don't know. Like, if you didn't want, if for safety reasons, throw the chair down. Once you've seen them in the ring, you want to go do this, throw it down and go attack them. I don't know. Like, I'm not a wrestler. I don't know.
I mean, I get it. I mean, it's just unfortunate that it involves Thunder Rosa because, you know, she ain't, you know, people already have a perception of her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's unfortunate because it doesn't help that at all. And then, you know, the other minor thing is like, I know people harboring on this week about like, oh, look who she works with. They're talking about the Busted Open team. So it was like another layer of things that she had to deal with, a bunch of bullshit that she has to deal with. And I get it, you know, she's doing her best to handle it. And I thought like her response, you know, it was the best response she could give without throwing people under the bus. So I give her credit for that too. She didn't put the blame on anybody. She didn't take it out on the two women who missed, you know, had the miscue. So I mean, credit to her for that at least.
I think she handled it the right way. I see All in the Game is saying, "Oh, she read read a written apology like a hostage." I wouldn't say it's like a hostage, but it was quite obvious it was written down what she wanted to say.
No, it was, yeah, because she kept
the best decision to do. You can't go off the riff. I go off the riff all the time on this show sometimes, and yeah, when I don't follow my script, I have a lot of things that I mess up on. So.
Yeah, she has to. I think at that point, you know, like because there's a lot she's trying to get out, she's trying to say. You know, and sometimes it helps people. You know, sometimes it helps people, and you know, I really don't blame her. You know, like I said, this is a situation where it's gonna be talked about for like a week or two. By next week, nobody's gonna talk about it. So
yeah, I mean, we
next
could have done without
next time we see him on TV, it'll be forgotten.
Yeah.
But we got to talk about last week's AEW Collision. They were up in the ratings from the last episode of Collision, but down from Grand Slam the week prior. 421,000 viewers. The show featured Chris Jericho beating Bandito clean for some reason. What the fuck are you doing, Tony? And a very good main event, though, to retain the Ring of Honor World Championship. Meanwhile, Hologram defeated Beast Mortos in an awesome lucha battle. Glad to see Hologram back. You also had the Bullet Club War Dogs. My dog for real, Gabe Kidd, made his Collision debut by defeating the Butcher, while Don Callis watched on from backstage. The Death Riders defeated Daniel Garcia and 2.0 in a very good bout to retain the AEW World Trios Championships. Post-match, the D-Riders jumped their opponents until Undisputed Kingdom made the save, and then Cope came out to deliver 2 concertos to Pac, taking him out as the first victim of his assault towards the D-Riders. Julia Hart beat Queen Aminata, while Brody King answered Max Caster's The Best Wrestler Alive Open Challenge and destroyed him, as he should. We got a new vignette hyping up our boy, the arrival of Speedball Mike Bailey in All Elite Wrestling. Can't wait. So happy for him. Mariah May opened up the show attacking Timeless Toni Storm backstage before bringing her to the stage area and delivering a vicious Storm Zero on the AEW Women's World Champion. She then cut an unhinged promo and laid down a challenge for a title rematch at Revolution entitled The Hollywood Ending. But talking about that Speedball Mike Bailey vignette that we talked about here, he is coming to All Elite Wrestling, and he took to social media to comment on his impending arrival in AEW.
Who made that?
He said, I have been blessed for my whole career with unlimited support from all over the world. I can't thank you all enough. My biggest accomplishment in life has been making every year my best year yet. And I am extremely excited to keep that going at AEW, #AEW Collision. But since our producer put the new toys for Tony, we can group this all together because, like Gabe Kidd, another Bullet Club War Dog is coming to All Elite Wrestling, as Clark Connors says that he's headed to AEW and will be making a name for himself there. The NJPW star appeared in an AEW digital exclusive on Sunday where he said that he was back in AEW and everyone there is on notice and they are not his dog for real. I have to report, I am his dog for real. He said it himself. I'm a Bullet Club War Dog, so. Sorry, guys. I'm affiliated.
That's cool.
Any thoughts on Speedball Mike Bailey getting that vignette, and what do you think about his prospects now that he's officially in AEW? Miss Krssi Love?
I'm excited for him. I can't wait to see who he's going to rival with first. Well, they'll probably put him in a tag team. Who knows?
Well, who you want to see him face first?
Buddy Murphy.
That's a nice call. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. What about you, Josh?
His first matchup?
Or first rival?
First rival? That's a good one. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I really don't know. I guess maybe when like the Ricochet stuff kind of like goes into between him and Swerve. I wouldn't mind Speedball and Ricochet. I think that would be pretty fun. Something different, because obviously I wouldn't mind seeing Ospreay and Speedball again. But I think,
True.
if you're coming in as a baby face, I think that'd be a great heel thing to work with, and then Ricochet could still be corny and find other things to like try to brag
and corny
shit on and Speedball about. That'd be fun. I think it'll be like a kind of a fun thing. You never know.
Could be. Yeah, I'll go with Kenny Omega. I want to see him versus Kenny Omega. Why not? Or Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia for the TNT championship.
Oh, you see, that'd be fun too.
That would be a good one. I like that one
too.
Yeah. And then finally, to finish off with
ASAP.
It might happen tonight against Adam Cole, just saying. But talking about some AEW, Warner Brothers Discovery has decided not to move forward with plans for their new premier tier for sports programming on Max. WBD sent a statement to PW Insider and said that the canceled plans for a sports tier do not affect AEW, which has programming on Max. The statement reads, the recent Max news does not affect AEW at all. AEW's Saturday and Wednesday live shows will be available on all tiers of Max. So good news there for AEW in regards to their future on Max. But talking about Ring of Honor to finish off our journey into the Converse, you had ROH TV on Honor Club, and it was basically CMLL in English. It was basically Atlantis Jr., Mascarado Dorado, and Templario defeated Magnus and Volador Jr., as well as Soberano Jr. in a super fun trios main event. Atlantis, Espionage, and Fiego beat El Frio, Gran Guerrero, and Rocky Romero in a decent opener. La Catalina defeated Lady Frost in a very good bout, while Beast Mortos destroyed Adam Priest. Adam Priest.
He fucking should.
You know what?
And then finally, Blake Christian, the Vanilla Baby, defeated Fuego del Sol in his hometown. The Vanilla Baby beat Fuego del Sol in a fun bout there. So
Vanilla
made
Baby.
Chrissy choke on that. The Vanilla Baby. That's his nickname. The Vanilla Baby.
His heel stuff has been more surprising. Like, it's surprisingly good. I've actually enjoyed it.
Yeah. You just give these flippy wrestlers some characters. They're doing really well with them. I like it. But then you had talking about CMLL, you had CMLL team up with New Japan Pro Wrestling over in Japan for Fantastica Mania. I can't say it like Jay News. He says it's the best. February 27th, they were in Kurgan Hall, and February 28th. But February 7th, the show featured Atlantis Jr. defeating Ultimo Guerrero in a terrific bout. Go out of your way to watch that one. Ultimo Guerrero, he fought off the allegations after that horrible match with Okada last year. Mystico, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Stigma, and Mascarada Dorada beat Bone Soldier Jr., Afrenio, and Raider and Soberano Jr. in a very fun 8-man tag, while Volador Jr. defeated Templario in a great main event on the show. Then you also had February 28th, which featured Mystico defeating Efrario in a great main event to retain the MLW Welterweight Championship. Mascarada Dorada to beat Severano Jr. in a super fun bout. And Hechicero defeated Broncario Cavanare in a superb matchup. That would be the one I would say go out of your way to see, because I love Hechicero, and the caveman over there in CMLL is always a bunch of fun, but they tore it up in Kurgan Hall, so go out of your way to watch that one. And speaking of our journey over in Japan, we move on over to STARDOM, as they had the Path of Thunder event. The show featured Starlight Kid defeating Rina in a brilliant main event to retain the Wonder of Stardom Championship. Hanan and Saida Ida of Stars beat Mei Sera and Suzu Suzuki of Neo Genesis in a splendid tag team encounter to retain the Goddess of Stardom's championship. That's a great bout for you to see. One of the better women's tag team matches of the year. And Hina beat Miyu Amasaki to win the Future of Stardom championship. Stardom is doing very well right now. They're on a little bit of a heater as of late. They already had a 5-star matchup this year, so good stuff from the Path of Thunder. That was on Monday that show went down. And then we're going to finish up our journey of what we missed with TNA Impact this week. The show featured The System. They kicked off the show, and they invited the Colognes to join their group, forming an alliance. Later in the broadcast, The System's Moose, Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, and Oba Femi defeated Oba Femi and the Hardys in a decent trios main event, previewing Oba Femi going at it with Moose at Roadblock. Post-match, The System jumped the babyfaces until Joe Hendry and Elijah made the save. This led to Santino Marella coming out to make 2 big matches for Sacrifice. Moose will face Jeff Hardy in a ladder match for the X Division Championship, while The System and the Colognes will face Hendry, Matt Hardy, and 3 partners of their choosing at Sacrifice. Mike Santana beat NXT's Aura Mensa. Post-match, you had Mustafa Ali aired a propaganda video mocking Santana's addiction. This led to Santana going backstage and going after Ali's new group. Frankie Kazarian defeated Ace Austin in a pretty good matchup, thanks to a distraction from Wes Lee. Post-match, you had Lee, Tyson, and Tyreek jumped Ace until the Rascals made the save. Spitfire beat Team Elegance to retain the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championships, meaning Ash and Heather had to be the personal concierges of the champions for a day. Sammy Callahan and Mance Warner fought to a no contest and got into a pull-apart brawl until Santino came out to make a street fight between the 2 rivals for Sacrifice. And finally, Tessa Blanchard was in action in her first match on Impact in 5 years, getting a win over Kelsey Heather. Backstage, Cora Jade attacked Masha Slamovich from behind while she watched the matchup, setting up their match for Sacrifice. But TNA is not going to do anything when it comes to Tessa Blanchard, apparently, is the big report from TNA this week. As, if you've noticed on TNA over the last couple of weeks, Tessa Blanchard is not very liked. It seems like people are not forgiving her for what she did before. Oh, those damn people. Why would they ever not forgive her, you know? Right. Not like she hasn't not apologized. But yeah. But TNA, the new report is that TNA has no plans of correcting the course here or addressing her past allegations. They believe that, the apology that she gave all the way back in 2020 was good enough for them. The report reads, TNA are reportedly not planning to address the racism and bully allegations against Tessa Blanchard. The former Impact World Champion has received "she's a racist" chants repeatedly since coming back to TNA, and that report came from the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Chrissy, any thoughts?
I'm happy she's being booed. People see the true colors, and she's getting what she deserves.
I agree there. Josh?
TNA gonna TNA.
Yep, exactly.
They're too busy twerking for WWE because they need them. So, yeah.
That's a whole fact too.
That is a whole fact. But yeah, TNA is gonna TNA. What can we say? What can we say that hasn't already been said about TNA and their inability to read the room?
Read the room, read it, and she's been booed the last 3 weeks in a row, and this time she had a match, and you still don't hear like they're telling you chants of like she's a racist. But TNA,
they're like, oh, that's heel heat. That's heel heat, right?
No,
right? That's just heel heat for her. You know, they love her. They love her, right? Right. I feel like that's what TNA is trying to tell themselves. Like this is a part of the plan. This is what's supposed to happen.
Sure, buddy.
Yep.
It's strange. It's very strange by TNA, but it's kind of crazy that AEW and WWE have ongoing lawsuits against them, but TNA seems like they are like going to get most disgusting promotional tactic for this whole Tessa Blanchard situation. Crazy. That's insane. But yes, that's all from what we missed this week, which means it is time for Miss Chrissy Love's favorite time of the week. Best and worst of the week and match of the week. Miss Chrissy Love, start us off. Who do you think had the best week and the worst week?
Best week. I'll give it to Ricochet.
That's fair. Worst week?
Tessa Blanchard.
That's fair. Worst week? Ryan Nemeth.
Oh, take it back. Sorry, Ryan Nemeth. Yep, sorry. That's stupid. That idiot. Yep. Sorry. Yeah, right. Sorry.
Ryan Nemeth. And best week, I'll give it to Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez for their win on Monday Night Raw.
I like that one.
Josh, what about you?
Worst of the week on Ryan Nemeth. Easily. Doesn't come close. Best of the week. I'm gonna lean with Ricochet because I think he's been doing some great work. Crowd reaction was great too. They booed the shit out of him. They booed him out of that building. Yo.
Pretty fun. It was pretty fun. And I saw people being like, oh, they chanted Toni fumbled on NXT. They should chant Hunter fumbled on AEW for Ricochet. I was like, they ain't gonna chant that. They hate that man. They too busy booing him to chant that.
Yeah, but also it's not needed. It's not needed. And you know, I think Triple H did try to do things with Ricochet like to his strong points, but it didn't work in his favor. Yeah.
He never had a mic. They just want to go do some flippy shit and come back.
Yeah. I agree with Mr. Bonda in the chat. He said SLK was surgical on Rena's knee in that matchup. That was a really damn good matchup at STARDOM, which gives you a hint on what I'm going to say on my matches of the week. Yes, but yes, I got 10 this week. It was a busy week. I watched a lot of wrestling too. I watched a lot of wrestling, the STARDOM show. I watched the Fantastica Mania shows this morning. So I had to add some stuff to my list. Some stuff got pushed out, so I got some honorable mentions too. But my matches of the week this week, honorable mention to Chris Jericho versus Bandito. It wasn't one of the greatest matches in Collision history, Chris. Like you said on Dynamite, you fucking jackass. But it was good. It was very good. And Ospreay versus Brian Keefe from Dynamite was very good as well as Undisputed Kingdom versus Daniel Garcia and FTR. That was a banger. But my list is number 10. I got Stephanie Vaquer versus Carmen Petrovic from NXT. Number 9, I got Mystico versus Avaranio from Fantastica Mania Day 8. I got number 8, Stars versus Neo Genesis from STARDOM Path of Thunder. Number 7, Templario versus Vado Jr. from Fantastica Mania. Number 6, Hologram versus Mortos from Collision. Number 5, Atlantis Jr. versus Ultimo Guerrero from Fantastica Mania. Number 4, Hechicero versus Cavanaro from Fantastica Mania. Number 3, Bianca Belair and Naomi versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez from Raw. Number 2, Starlight Kid versus Rina from Stardom, Path of Thunder. And number 1, Konosuke Takeshita versus Orange Cassidy from Dynamite. Chrissy.
Number 5, I have Harley versus Deonna Purrazzo. Number 4, I have the Hardys versus the New Catch Republic. That's what they was? Yes, that's
New
them.
Catch. Yeah.
Yep.
No Quarter Catch Crew. No
That's
Quarter Catch.
the name
Stupid
of
ass
it, yeah.
fucking name. This is such a stupid name.
Yeah, whatever. Them. Number 3 is the tag match, Liv and Raquel versus Naomi and Bianca. Number 2, Brian Keith versus Offspray, and number 1, Takeshita versus Cassidy. Aha!
There you go. Before you give that, we do have in the chat, my missus just messaged me this, so I might as well highlight it here in the chat. Rest in peace, the soul music queens, Roberta Fleck and Angie Stone just died. Just died while we were on here.
A couple of hours, yeah. I just saw the post. Someone just sent it to me. She was in a car accident, so peace and blessings to her her family, and her daughter and grandkids. So that's really sad.
Yeah. Josh, what's your matches of the week?
Matches of the week, number 3, I'm gonna go with the tag team match from Raw, the main event for the tag titles, Liv Raquel versus Bianca and Naomi. Number 2, I'm gonna go with Brian Keith versus Will Ospreay. And number 1, I just had it in my head and I just forgot. Oh, the main event from Dynamite, Orange Cassidy versus Konosuke Takeshita.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was a really good week. Really good week for some strong matches, especially if you watch like everything like I did. Fantastica Mania had some bangers. Stardom had the final 3 matches on Stardom were really damn good. I only watched those 3 matches. I try to watch the matches that are getting the most mentions or people telling me. And you can feel free to tell me to watch a match on social media or even in the comments on our videos here if you want to hear that mentioned during matches of the week. Moment of the week. Tough. I'll probably give it to. Damn, that's tough. You know what? I'll give it to Ricky Saints. Ricky Saints made in-ring debut on NXT.
That's
Krssi?
fair. Moment. The Rock giving that trash ass car to Cody Rhodes.
Josh.
You know, it's funny. I was going to say the same.
Fair. That's also fair. And now we're going to cap things off with rapid fire predictions for tonight's WWE Elimination Chamber 2025. And we start off with it's going to be tag team action. Trishy and Tiffy time. Trish Stratus in-ring return, teaming up with WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton to versus Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. Josh.
I think they're gonna go with Tiff. I'm gonna go with Tiffy and Trish.
Krssi?
Tiffy and Trish.
Tiffy and Trishy time for me as well. Then we got unsanctioned matchup. Sami Zayn 1-on-1 with Kevin Owens. Krssi?
I want Kevin Owens to win since he lost twice to Cody.
Yeah, I'm going with KO for the win, and I'm predicting Randy Orton makes his return after.
Ooh,
Josh?
That's a good one, SP. I didn't even think of that one. Oh, that's good. You're good.
I'm gonna go with KO to win.
Then we got the women's elimination chamber matchup: Roxanne Perez, Bayley, Naomi, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, and Alexa Bliss. The winner faces Rhea Ripley or Io Sky for the WWE Women's World Championship at WrestleMania 41. Krssi?
Bianca.
Josh?
I got Bianca.
Unanimous. I'm going with Bianca Belair. And then finally, the men's elimination chamber, the most star-studded elimination chamber in history to WWE. Logan Paul, Damian Priest, Seth freaking Rollins, Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, and John Cena. Josh?
John Cena.
Krssi.
Peacemaker.
Yes. Cohabitation agreement signer, rules maker, John Cena. The start of his heel turn starts tonight at the Elimination Chamber. I'm going with Cena. We were unanimous on all of those. We'll see if we are all right on all those predictions, and we will see from all of you. We already predicted that Rock, that's Cody will say no to the Rock, so we won't do that again.
Yeah. Also, I wouldn't be mad if Roxanne would win neither, though.
I wouldn't be mad if Roxanne won, but
it would, because she probably would lose at Mania. But hey, it is what it is. Because you're gonna either call me up or not. Like, you got me up here, so like, am I getting paid double? Probably not. But I like that they're giving her these chances. So yeah.
And we got one last super chat donation from our good brother, Call Me Mr. Bonda. Thank you so much, Call Me Mr. Bonda, for the support. And he gives a simple fuck you emoji to Joe Hendry. I love Mr. Bonda for his consistency. He keeps it real and he keeps it consistent. Thank you guys for the super chat donation. Thank you guys for all the love in the chat for my list that we broke down earlier. We'll probably have that as a separate video for you to enjoy later on this week. But that brings us to the close on another edition of our flagship podcast. I want to thank Top Guy JJ for joining us earlier today. I want to thank Miss Krssi Love and Josh. Krssi Love will give you the floor first. Let everybody know where they can follow you on social media and when they might see you again. You're muted.
Dang it. Hey, friends. Thanks for joining us again. We really appreciate you. You can follow me. Oh, my God. Traders SP. Whoa.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, we already know what the fate is, but, like, they left us on a cliffhanger. But anywho, whatever. What an episode. But yes, follow me, Krssi Love _1, Tru Heel Krssi Love, and just my name. If you want to get married, you need anything, hit me up. Thanks.
Josh.
You follow me, JMPunk321 on Instagram, and I'll be back tomorrow for the WWE Elimination Chamber review.
Indeed, he will. I will be there with him. So join us live for that tomorrow, probably around like 1:05 p.m. Eastern time. Join us for that tomorrow. Join us tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time for our WWE Elimination Chamber watch party. Romeo will be here. I think the Around the Point gang will be here. Soper guy JJ says he's going to show up. God willing. But follow us on the Twitter machine at Tru Heel SV3. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Tru Heel Heat. Patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content. The best way to support us when we are not live here. Check out all the great content we got on the channel right now. Check out our Elimination Chamber preview before tonight's pay-per-view. But for Josh, for Krssi, for Top Guy JJ, for our producer, it is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3. This has been Tru Heel Heat 318, Chamber of Souls. We are signing off until next time.
Laters.